price later on. But right now, I have a very important question. Ondo has a very huge token unlock happening in January. What's your thoughts on that?
I think, and this might be an unpopular thing, that the unlocks are overrated in terms of the impact that they can have on projects in bull markets. I think that the mechanism by which, because the mechanism by which these unlocks happen typically happens through market makers and is quite well coordinated, particularly depending on who's unlocking, right? If those unlocks are coming from the big VCs, if they've got significant amounts of unlocks to come in the future, they don't want to go and kill the project off by selling too aggressively during that period of time. So we had a big unlock come from Sui in the summer and price actually went up. So I think it's like something that is talked about as being like a really negative thing, but in bull markets, I don't think the effect is that dramatic, partly because of the mechanism by which it's released, but mainly because it's strategized. And also I think that VCs are the ones who are responsible for pumping the price of crypto coins around periods of time right now. It's not retail investors who are necessarily pumping XRP and Cardano up so in such crazy manners. It's quite a lot of institutions that are doing it. So there's a good chance if you're holding Ondo right now that the VCs are probably going to think about injecting liquidity to drive the price up so that when they get towards their time, they can liquidate at higher prices.
Nice. I will talk about your AI play later on, but I will come to Smith now. So Smith, yes, I know you're very conservative, 30 to 40% into Bitcoin, Ethereum. You're looking at some meme coin challenge, but I'd love to hear how will you allocate? What are the tokens that you will be allocating to this portfolio for your mother-in-law?
Okay, so first of all, Jonathan, you can put down 30% into Ethereum, just the same as Peter. Let's get the boring bit out of the way. Same reasoning, the fact that it's bouncing against Bitcoin has been lagging behind. And Ethereum will have its time to shine, especially the fact that we see a lot of people hating and throwing some jokes around on X about Ethereum. It just makes me more confident that it's going to go up soon. And then moving on to the second pick, I would have to actually disagree with Peter here and play devil's advocate and say that Solana is not actually, going to top out anytime soon. And my reasoning for that is simply because of the pivot that we're seeing in the SEC, with now Trump being in power, Gary Gensler, in light of what Trump was saying he's going to fire him, is now stepping down in January. I think it will make a different dynamic in terms of ETFs that can be approved. Now, I think Solana is going to get approved for an ETF next year. There might be a bit of volatility before then. We might get a shakeout. But ultimately, once that institutional liquidity flows into Solana, I think this can reach $1,000 probably within the next 1 year. And, going back to what I just said, the pivot from the SEC with their opinion on crypto, now that Gary Gensler is gone, we might start to see loads of ETFs and allow that bridge from institutional money into crypto. And this is likely probably going to be a bubble over the next 5 to 10 years where these ETFs just create this kind of like fake liquidity. And I think that Solana is probably going to get an ETF next year. So that's my main reasoning. I would probably allocate about 10%, maybe 15% into Solana. We'll do 15%. And then my next pick is going to, again, probably a little bit boring, I don't know, but I'm going to choose Render. And I think that it's just one of the safer bets, right? Because I don't think that NVIDIA is going to stop its insane rally anytime soon. Sure, there might be some pullbacks, as to be expected with anything on a parabolic move. But I think that Render is going to continue going crazy. And it's basically just, look, if anyone's watching the stock market go up and they see and how well NVIDIA is doing, the next thing you're going to think of is what crypto is second best. And it's always going to be Render. So that's my second pick. I would probably allocate another maybe 10% there. Actually, we'll match the same as Solana. We'll do 15%. So far, we've taken 60% of the portfolio. So we're over half the way there. The next one I would choose, before we get into some meme coins, I'm just going to go straight for an AI pick, because I think that is going to be one of the strongest narratives of this cycle. I think it's pretty obvious now. I don't think anyone will disagree necessarily. So my pick is going to be OXO. And that's more from a technical standpoint. I think that it's been kind of lagging behind the other coins that AI, so FET, a few other ones as well. I think that OXO is going to probably, from a technical standpoint, catch up with them and surpass them. And I think that it really has upside potential. So I probably look to allocate about, 10% into an AI pick. Obviously, with $10,000, we don't have too much leg room. We can't go, too crazy here. So I think that giving a 10% allocation into a good, solid AI project is a very good idea. There's a lot of upside potential. This thing can do a 5x, a 10x. Who knows? It could even do a lot more. So before I get into the remaining part of the portfolio, which I'll allocate towards meme coin, and I'll tell you what those are going to be, I'll let Peter take back over so we can hear what his AI pick is.
I love how conservative you are. On one hand, you are Ethereum, Solana, Render, and then the other hand is like meme coins. So it's like safe or dangerous. That's it. Nothing in between.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you, Will. Why Render for AI? Why not Tau? Bitensor seems to be like doing the best among the AI tokens this bull run.
I think that Render has kind of proven itself to be the number one in regards to, what it stands for. I really think that Render is number one and nothing else is going to come close to that. I don't actually know too much about Tau, so I can't comment too much. I actually haven't looked into it that much. So I would like to give you a better answer, but unfortunately, I really don't know.
Okay, and for Peter, why Ondo? Why not Om? Om seems like he has been running like crazy. Peter, you're muted.
Yeah, good point. OM has been having a pretty decent run of play. And that's basically why. I mean, I think they're both pretty similar in what they're doing. Why one has been outrunning the other recently is tricky. Okay, I think that Ondo will eventually run strongly as well, but I'm very cautious about, advising my mother-in-law about investing in coins at all-time highs. So that's why I would maybe steer away from that. In terms of like allocations, I just realized I haven't really kind of given the percentages. So I said 30% for ETH. Can I knock that down? Maybe let's just go with 20% for ETH. Okay. Maybe then give Aptos 10%. 10%. What does that take me to? 40% is that total? Okay, so give Ondo a 5%. 5%. And okay, so AI play. I agree with Will in terms of Render being one that's been closely linked in terms of the performance against NVIDIA. And I do hold it myself, but I do think that there is a better deepin kind of AI play than Render, and that is Aether, which is AETHIR. And the reason for that is, so basically Render is a decentralized physical infrastructure network product. It allows people to access compute rendering services. Rendering is used in video games, movies, and things like that. This, in terms of like demand level, obviously has some form of demand. And if you go and look at the Render performance in terms of active addresses and the amount of rendering jobs it's been performing, it's been quite high, but those are not particularly expensive or valuable things to do. And Render already has a market cap of $4.6 billion. On the flip side of that, Aether is partnered up with NVIDIA and offers cloud compute for AI. So AI is a very difficult and technical thing to develop, and it requires very high level compute power, which is provided by H100 NVIDIA GPUs. Now, this is getting a bit technical, but these GPUs cost around $30,000 each. They're incredibly expensive. But if you want to build a large language model like ChatGPT or something like this, you can only do it with this level of GPU. So all these other GPU providers that are AI GPU can't really do it because they're not actually providing the right equipment to be able to do it. Aether is the only one with enterprise grade GPUs, has 43,000 GPUs available, makes has already got a revenue of $36 million. And if you read, there was like a deepin report at the end of last year from Masari. The entire deepin ecosystem in crypto only made $20 million last year, the whole year. Aether has already made $36 million this year. It's got a 10% continual growth rate per month. So each month is increasing. All of the AI, I went to Singapore to the token 2049. Pretty much every AI project that I spoke to was using compute power from Aether. So a lot of the benefit of holding Render is it's better known. It does have an ability to kind of communicate well to the audience, and it is unique in that it is going after that kind of rendering kind of element, which most other projects aren't. But Aether is the one, in my opinion, that is heavily undervalued in that it's only a 343 million market cap, which is like a 10x, 11, 12x to Render's market cap. So one of the biggest problems in AI development is there's a massive bottleneck when it comes to the compute power. To build a ChatGPT can cost millions and millions of dollars because there's a bottleneck on the amount of compute power available. Every 18 months, the demand for this level of GPU stuff or this compute power goes up 10x. But every 18 months, demand is 10xing, and only Aether is the decentralized provider. That's about 20%, 80% cheaper than using Amazon Web Services for the same stuff.
But if you look at Aether, don't you feel concerned? You look at the chart listed here, I think at 0.06, and then it pumped down all the way. Doing this bull run, it's not even moving back. What's your thoughts on this?
Every project that launched after March, with the exception of a few, really saw some pretty significant sell-offs. However, I actually think if you go and compare Aether's chart to, let's say, what else launched during the bull market? Gaimin's a decentralized compute provider. That dropped 97, 98%. Aether actually hasn't really got a bad looking chart considering it launched after March. Problem is, in March, everything was pumping. It was like a mini bull market. So much money flooding in. Everyone launched these projects and they all went really well. And then after that, they didn't have the kind of community already built up to be able to sustain them through those drops. So even the larger ones like AIOZ, Render, etc., saw significant drops, 60 to 70%. Aether actually from its highs to those lows isn't really that much of a significant drop at all. I know the unlocks for Aether, while they might seem significant, they're not coming till at least, I think the team are on a 36-month lockup. So that's going to be gone. The bull market's going to be finished by that point. So yeah, we're still, this is a $2.7 billion company with the current small circulating supply that I think is actually bullish that it's that small because there's not that many tokens going to get unlocked before 2 years point. So the price action, anything in my opinion that has had good pullbacks that is now starting to show bullish price action shouldn't be considered to be a bad thing as long as it's being able to react to the positive momentum in the market once more. That pump from that bottom tells me that this is able to cope with the excitement. There's volume coming back into the charts. Yeah, it's a good one as far as I'm concerned. Do your own research kind of thing.
All right. You know what, Peter? I'm just going to ask one question. You can look at the chat. Guys, how many of you are actually holding the ATH token? If you guys are holding, can you type on the chat ATH? Just curious. So, Peter, I want you to look at the chat, right? So, the reason I'm asking this question is because personally, I'm very bullish about Aether as well. I hold a lot of Aether tokens, the ATH machines as well. So, I was actually very happy that you brought this up. Yeah. Okay. And me being me, not your mother-in-law, right? Okay, so in terms of market allocation,
I was going to go with another 5% there, I reckon. I'm sort of lagging behind, but I guess I would have had maybe a few more larger caps, but that's fine. I think we can kind of still. I think there's a lot of room in mid caps. Going tiny market caps can be a bit scary. Mid caps, probably a good place to be. So I'll go to mid caps next.
Okay.
Shall I do them down?
You're going to do that now, or will you like to pass it on?
I'll do one now because it's on topic. Because you asked Will about Tau Potenza, which is a very interesting project. It's quite an expensive project right now, big market cap. And from an AI perspective, it does have that AI badge, which people know about. Oh, well, it's like robots and that. But Tau Potential is quite a complex project. And I think for average people in crypto, more complex projects can be a little bit off-putting. I think that's why, you know, like liquid staking derivatives and stuff don't go as well as maybe people think they are, as they think they will when, you know, some like meme coin or gaming project blows up to $1 billion market caps. And that's because of how easy it is to understand for a normal person in crypto. Tau Potential basically connects together different AI systems, allows them to talk to each other, and allows them to teach each other. So, for example, if you had 10 people in the room who are all like crypto experts, I guess, you know, like we're doing on this video, I learned things from Will talking, I learned things from you, Jonathan, and, you know, we learn things from each other. Tau Potential basically is an ecosystem of these different AI projects being able to talk to each other, learn from each other, and share the information that they know. So this could be a use case, might be in medical services. So, for example, something sees a chest X-ray that's looking for lung cancer or something like that. Let's say an AI in one country has become very good at spotting these cancers and identifying what they look like, and it can share this information with other AI platforms around the world and allow them to kind of learn and train from each other, which can do it much cheaper than what we already said with having to do it kind of manually. So they can teach each other to build these large language models. But Tau Potential comes with a very big market cap, which sort of puts me off. So instead of Tau Potential, I've got another one called NetMind, which is NMT. And this is 131 mil market cap, which I think is actually, it's one I hold. And I think it's one that is a pretty good bet, in the same as like Aether against Render. I think NetMind against Tau Potential is a pretty reasonable play. And it should be easy enough, much easier to get a 10x out of NetMind, because at 131 mil, it's more than 10x to the same market cap as Tau Potential right now. So NetMind would go into my AI. I would give that as well 5%, because it's still, you know, for me, in the mid cap range of crypto projects.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna look into NetMind later on as well. Jenny is asking, but NetMind doesn't have a lot of movement. Does it have?
Went up 87% 2 days ago. Jenny looking at the right chart.
Yeah, man. The last
it had a crazy pump, right? And then it pulled back to find a decent base. That, like, when you see like charts that are very, very flat, and then all of a sudden they wake up like this, I think it's quite a useful thing to pay attention to. Your job at that point is to try and like understand what basically went on. It turns out it listed on a big exchange. When things pump like that, don't just go and buy them, but work out why they've done it and whether or not that maybe there's a potential to see more into the future.
Nice.
So yeah, NetMind is that one.
Nice. And NetMind seems like it's going through like that cup, and it's about to break out.
Yeah. Finished its accumulation phase. That's good.
Yeah, love it. Seems like it just went through that accumulation phase. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Will. Will, you have been very conservative so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I've learned a lot from Peter, actually. I might have to go and pick up a bag of Aether. Seems very interesting, and the chat is very much supportive as well. So I think after this stream, I'll be picking up a bag and joining you guys. But how much is left of my allocation? We have...
Okay. Let me just put a sum. You wanna consider reducing your allocation into Ethereum, Solana, or Render? Like what?
Possibly.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think because I've gone so conservative on the first few, I think the next step from here is to go the complete opposite and now pick up some degen plays and use that rest 30% for some more risky stuff. So that's what I'm going to go for here. And the first pick that I'll choose, I think, is around 50 million market cap. So this is way lower than what we've been discussing right now. And it's a meme coin called Katana.
How do you spell that?
And, it's Katana, like Solana, but Katana.
This one?
Yes.
Oh. Wow.
So Katana is a newer project and meme coin. Now, the thesis behind this one, and I've been riding this for about 10 million market cap, but I'm still dollar cost averaging now. I think that this can go to 1, 2, 3 billion market cap. And why do I think that? So I spend a lot of my time tracking whales wallets that made a lot of money on some of the big meme coins. So for example, you've got Popcat, there's a ton of big meme coins, and these whales and insiders, they tend to know what's going to follow. And oftentimes they have their own group chats, right? So think about it this way. I know, because I've seen this in real life, and I know this to be true. The Popcat whales, so Popcat's like a 2 billion market cap right now. Everybody knows Popcat. The whales have their own group chat and they've been buying Katana. And you can see that by the top holders of Katana, and they're not selling, they're just buying, which reflects in the price. And the sentiment behind Katana for such a low market cap meme coin is absolutely crazy. Just have a look on Twitter. Everyone's going absolutely nuts. People are speculating it might get a Binance listing. Who knows? Very early days for that sort of stuff yet. But based on the fact that the Popcat whales are really rallying behind this, that's my thesis. Definitely a bit riskier, definitely more degen, don't get me wrong, but the artwork is really cool. Everyone can see what the meme stands for straight away. It's a cat with a sword, Katana, Solana. It rhymes, it sounds good. And I think that this is a very good play indeed. So that's what I've been scaling in. I think it's a good little bet to have in the portfolio to offset some of the more safer bets into Ethereum and Solana, etc. So I hope you guys like that pick. The second coin that I'd probably go for is going to, again, this is more degen, a bit lower market cap. So I hope I'm not annoying you guys with this. But this is going to be an AI play as well. It's LNQ, which is Link AI. So I think this is yet to have a rally. Once you pull it up, we'll see that. It's really not done a whole lot in terms of price action. You can see that it's up maybe like 50% or something, but it's been in a huge accumulation phase. And I think that once we start to see the market pick up, the Bitcoin dominance top out, this thing is a pretty comfortable 10x. And simply put, it's an AI play that tends to automate a lot of mundane tasks in workplaces, whether that's physical or online. And it's very simple. There's not much else other than that. But I think mostly, again, from a technical standpoint, because I'm a trader, I can see that this chart is definitely primed for a good move to the upside. So I would probably allocate 10% into both, which is quite a large sum. But again, this is offsetting my conservative play on Ethereum, Sol, Render, etc.
How many percent?
So now we own both. Yeah, so just 10% again. I would put into LNQ and Katana, so both.
Okay.
And I'll have a little think about the last project that I would choose, or maybe if I would choose two, and we'll pass it back over to Peter.
Okay, very cool. I've never heard of Katana before, and I think this is good alpha. Definitely gonna check it out later. Okay, thank you so much, Will. Peter, you still got 40% to go. Yeah,
40% to go. Okay, it's tricky to know how much more I should go for. I've got deepin, I've got AI, I've got gaming, I've got RWA. Okay, I'm exposed to all the narratives I want to be exposed to. Where would I go next? One thing I think is very useful to know, and that's easy for anyone to do at home. So I use this as the next example because I think it'd be the most valuable for you, is to understand that those projects at the top, so we've got the Ethereums, the Aptos, AVAX, these are all layer one ecosystems. When these projects do really well, there's a very easy way to find small caps that will absolutely blow up when these projects do well. And it is literally just going to DeFi Llama and understanding something that when these projects run well, lots of people will suddenly run and start trading them as well. And where do they go and trade? Do they go and trade on DEXs, decentralized exchanges? In the last bull market, we saw, the Ethereum DEXs like Uniswap come up and explode. We saw Pancake Swap blow up because of Binance Smart Chain. This bull market so far, we've seen, or early stages, we saw Jupiter and Radium going crazy. On my channel, back in September, we talked about Sui chain exploding, and then suddenly we caught Cetus, which did like a 5 or 6x. I called Pangolin yesterday, which is a DEX on Avalanche, but I think that Pangolin is still very undervalued on Avalanche. It went up, might have gone up about 30% or 50% in the last couple of days. And this is literally the easiest thing you can do. Go to DeFi Llama, and you can find, look, this DEX is what, 75 mil market cap. Bearing in mind that Avalanche has a market cap of what, $18 billion. Betting on the DEXs on the big chains that are doing well is just the easiest small cap play that you can find. So as soon as that chain starts to wake up, like Avalanche is starting to wake up, and you can see the volume coming in on DeFi Llama, go and find a good DEX on Avalanche. Trader Joe did the other day. I caught Trader Joe, slightly bigger market cap. Trader Joe, Pangolin, both DEXs, both the easiest money you'll make on Avalanche, in my opinion. Bearing in mind, though, you've got Aptos now starting to look interesting. And the Aptos being a newer chain, the DEXs on Aptos are significantly smaller. You've got one called Pontum, which is ticker symbol LSD. I don't know why.
Let me just add everything in first. Pangolin, Joe.
I'm not necessarily adding all these to my list, by the way. Just give me take off Joe, because Pangolin's just as a better bet because it's smaller. And then put LSD, which is Pontum, which is Pontum Swap, which is the DEX on Aptos. Again, tiny, but they're starting to pick up in volume. If Aptos suddenly pumps towards the upside, which I think it has a good chance of doing very shortly, then the DEX is, I don't even know how big it is. It's tiny, I think.
Is this the one? LSD? 400 million.
There's another one. No? Another one. It's called Pontum, Pontem.
Oh, LSD.
That one, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't show the market cap on here, but you can see it on DeFi Llama. Very small. Anyway, it's like 5 mil. Chances of that doing, I mean, so we called Cetus on the channel, and it's now like 250 mil market cap. So if this does a 250 mil market cap, 5 mil, what's 5 mil into 250 mil? You know the math. Better than me.
So basically, you're looking at all these layer ones that will be pumping soon. And if these layer ones pump, their DEXs will pump. It's just the same theory that Sui pumped first, and then Cetus did a 5x after that.
Yeah, everything in crypto copies the other. So like Will's just talked about, all these guys were investing in PopCat. The next one they invest into the next one. It's like, it's the same with meme coins. It's like, Brett did really well. It's the base meme coin. And then this did really well because Bonk did really well. It's the Solana meme coin. Well, then Coquino will do really well because it's the AVAX meme coin. So in fact, when AVAX pumps, Coquino is probably a pretty good bet as well as a meme coin on AVAX. So that's just such an easy way, I think, to give yourself low market cap rewards for just understanding the fundamentals behind what drives the layer one ecosystem to success. And that makes it very easy, in my opinion, to pick these smaller cap winners. So how much should I give them each? There's a small caps. If you give them 5% each.
5%
I wouldn't advise doing this, but just give them 5% on each. Ideally, I would have given less to small caps, but I didn't really think about this as we went through. It's fine. Small caps, what else? Gaming, I would go with one called Mavia, Heroes of Mavia.
Yeah.
That's like a kind of a Clash of the Clans game. It's already got like a lot of onboarded users. It's backed by Binance Labs, but is not yet on Binance, which is a very good indicator that it will end up on Binance at some point. And another game, which is called My Lovely Planet. So MLC is the ticker.
Is this a game?
It's a game. So it's built by the people who built Candy Crush. Very similar gameplay to Candy Crush, but it's a similar. they are doing like a kind of we plant trees every time you win this, you play in the game. Now, having spoken to the team about this is a very big deal, because if you want to acquire a new player for Candy Crush spends about $1 to acquire a new player, which is quite a lot of money, but they make money through marketing and other like in-game processes. Candy Crush is worth about $7 billion a year. It's a ludicrous amount of money this game makes. My Lovely Coin at the moment is worth $5 million. And their acquisition cost per player is 12 cents. And that's because they have this we plant trees kind of thing kind of going for it. Okay, it's kind of like charity, kind of like do good based. It's actually a really good game as well, decent game. It's not yet linked with the blockchain, but it will be linked sometime in January. And I anticipate that in January, that this coin is going to start blowing up. And I'm going to feature it on my video tomorrow. So if you want to know more about it tomorrow, watch my video.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of this particular game as a real outsider that I think has a huge potential in it.
Interesting. And how many percent were you allocate for Mavia and My Lovely?
Typically, okay. So I just for this process, I'm going to say 5%.
Okay.
But I would advise maybe people at home, if depending, this is more risky. But if you are less looking at risk, the benefit of these smaller coins, chances of MLC going to 50 mil to 100 mil market cap, I think are pretty high based on what I already know about it. It's got 300,000 active users on the game already who are not yet interacting with the ecosystem. So what I mean is, when that game goes live on the blockchain, people who are playing the game will start to be able to buy coins and things in the same way that you can buy coins on Candy Crush. But on Candy Crush, those are not on the blockchain yet. These games are going to go live and people are going to be buying coins and they're not even going to know that they're buying crypto. They're going to be investing in their game that's what mass adoption looks like. It's not knowing why or what crypto is, but it's actually using it to improve the function of something you're using.
So it's going to be very similar to Off the Grid, right? Where when you play the game, you don't even know that it's a crypto game.
Yeah. And you're playing the game because you enjoy playing the game, not just because it's... And even in the last bull market, people played those games because they were crypto games, but they're crap games, right? Gala games went to being worth about $10,000 per active user, which is ludicrous. Because the games are rubbish. But these new games, I think, will break through. And if Off the Grid suddenly blows up, then all the other games just will blow up off the back of that. People speculating. My Lovely Coin makes perfect sense to me because of all this. Yeah.
Interesting. So you already got 80% invested.
Okay,
20...
so let me just increase a little bit of my go with let's extend Beam and Ondo to being 10%.
Okay.
And I'll add 5% to Aether and 5% to NetMind.
Okay. Very good alpha. Thank you so much. I've never heard of like MLC. I think this is something very interesting. Personally, I'll be looking into that as well. I totally agree with your thesis that we're going to look into DEX of those L1s that have not pumped, because we just saw what happened with Citus and Sui. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'm going to go to Will now. Will, your thoughts? You still got 10% left.
Yeah. So first of all, the MLC pick from Peter, very, very nice. It's not often you see such a large active user base for a coin that's basically done nothing. So some really nice alpha there. I would probably split my last 10% across two projects. The first one being AI Tech. If you would like to pull that up, Jonathan, it's quite a nice chart. The name and the ticker itself pretty much tells you what it is, but it's a GPU marketplace, and they basically offer like a solution for projects that want to launch AI projects that want to launch in Europe. Because there's quite a big logistical problem with the supply chain of getting GPUs and chips from Asia into Europe. And AI Tech basically plans to solve that. And they have like a one-stop sort of solution for AI projects that want to launch and they don't really know how to get the chips and stuff in Europe because it can be quite of a logistical issue. It does add a lot of costs to their, bottom line. Trying to get everything from Asia into Europe, it's just a bit of a nightmare. So I think that as the space grows, similar to Render, similar to NVIDIA, I think the AI tech currently sitting at 160 mil market cap is definitely a project that could 10x 1.5 billion market cap conservative. And I really think he can get there. So that would take up probably one of the 5% left.
Yep.
And the last 5%, I would probably put into a meme coin on a different chain. Now, you could opt to go for base chain, you could opt to go for Sui chain or Tron. I would ask yourself, which chain do you believe in more personally? And just pick up a meme coin on that and some good ones that you can choose from. So for the Tron network, which is something that I'm quite bullish on, I think that Rock on Tron is a very nice bet, which is quite a low market cap. I literally think it's just a couple 100K market cap now. You'll see that it had a nice rally and has just been accumulating ever since. This might look dead to most of you, but I know the community is still pumping hard. I've had a look at it recently. I think that this can go back to all-time high, but don't get me wrong, this is really degen stuff here. So just apply some salt to what I'm telling you, basically. But another option you could have on, Sui or base chain, you've got some big ones like Brett on base chain. And Sui, there's quite a few different ones. Again, I highly recommend if you decide between, base chain, Tron, or Sui, just go and have a look on CoinMarketCap or Dex Tools or Dex Screener and just see what are the top performing coins for that network. So if you could bring up the Sui network on, say, Dex Screener, you could see what's performing well recently. I think that these chains that I've been mentioning are definitely going to have a bit of a revival. And all it takes is one project to start pumping again. So, for example, if Brett was to go up, 200% in the next couple of weeks, something crazy, the base chain is going to start pumping all these random meme coins again. It's the same thing with Tron. And if you position yourself in some nice meme coins on these chains, you can make some serious gains.
What would be the meme coin on Sui if you were to choose one, because there's so many? Which one would that be?
There's a good one that you just saw there. Fud the Pug is quite a nice project as well. It has a 20 mil market cap. I think that, again, that's a comfortable 10x, but it just needs the chain to have one coin that starts pumping again like crazy. And then you'll start to see that trickle down into the rest of the meme coins, and they'll do extremely well.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. But you have your allocation here, 5%, 5%. Would you like to change your allocation?
No, but I would just say, guys, that last 5% is mostly up to your conviction on whichever chain you prefer. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put it this way. They will choose either one.
Yep.
All right,
sounds
cool.
good.
So I wanted to go into price. Unfortunately, the time is very limited. So what I would do today is, I guess, having this alphas itself, knowing what are the coins that you guys are looking at, this itself is very, very powerful really. Now, before you guys go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What would be one last message for all our audience here? Because there's like 1,000 plus of us here. Peter, you'd like to start first? What would be that one last message for everyone here?
To understand the opportunity that is in front of you right now. If you are interested in being able to make some good money in the coming months, there is one of the best opportunities that I think, has ever been available to anyone ever. And I think that might sound a bit dramatic, but my parents definitely didn't live in a time where you could, turn on a computer and spend a few hours to be able to make this kind of returns. I think that it's a very challenging environment to be in crypto. But if you are willing to invest some of your time and effort, then you can really be rewarded. So I think the thing to do is to be able to say to yourself that you're going to make the effort to, I'm waffling. Sorry, you need to make the effort, okay? Do your own research. When people say do your own research, make sure you're actually doing it. Because if you're just buying coins blindly because I've talked about them or Will's talked about them or whatever, you're going to really struggle, okay? Because you don't know when to sell it, you don't know how to hold it or whatever. A little bit of time and effort spent by you will pay off in such a big way you can't even imagine. So do your own research, enjoy the process, and yeah, you've got a bright road ahead of you, and take profits.
Yeah, and remember, take profits. That's very important. Will, yourself?
Yeah, again, just like Peter, I want to hit home the opportunity that you guys have. I don't think some of you really appreciate just how much of an opportunity we do have, especially in the next few months. I would say if you're not already, I know a lot of you are in the Future Trends Discord, which is absolutely amazing. These are the kind of places that you want to be so that you're not missing alpha and you have a community around you and you can ask people these questions, right? It's like if you're a bit stuck, you don't know what to do, the market's confusing you. If you're a part of a huge community, that really takes the weight off your back. I'd say go out of your way to curate a really nice feed and timeline on Twitter of some good KOLs and influencers, and also YouTube as well. And just basically for the next few months, just have like everywhere you look crypto. So you don't miss out on opportunities. You're around a good community. But again, you know, there's quite bad influencers out there. Not everyone's amazing. Not everyone's going to give you that honest advice. So just add a pinch of salt and yeah, that's it basically.
Yep. Everyone here who's listening, I want you guys to know that personally, I met a lot of KOLs, a lot of influencers, a lot of YouTubers, but I'm very selective who we are bringing here to speak to you guys, to share their insights and alphas with you guys. So one of the things I highly encourage you guys who are in Future Trends is this, besides learning it from us at Future Trends, all of you guys who are listening to this, go and follow Smith and also Peter on their YouTube channel, because they have a lot of amazing alphas, analysis, research. I highly encourage you to learn from them as well. So team, can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys host both Peter's and Smith's YouTube link on the chat so that all our friends here will be able to go out there and subscribe to their link, okay? So that you guys can continue to learn from them, okay? So thanks, Peter. Thanks, Smith. I know, Smith, you woke up very early just for this. And Peter, I know you are in Shanghai, but you're here with us as well. So thank you guys so much for being with us, with my community here at Future Trends. It's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you both soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, guys. Okay. So now, everyone, was this good stuff so far? Was this good stuff? Let me know. Let me know. Was this good stuff? All right. I want you guys to know some of these coins they just mentioned, I've never heard of them. Personally, I have never heard of them. I have never heard of MLC. Yes, I heard of Mavia. I heard of LFSD, but I've never heard of PNG. I've never heard of Pangolin. Never heard of NMT. So personally, even for me, it was good stuff. I hope that you guys gain a lot of value from today's session, because this is like the first of its kind that is being conducted, having the West and the East coming together, right? And these are the kind of alphas I usually get when I travel to Dubai or Singapore or Korea. And right now, I want you guys to experience this at Future Trends, because all these insights and alphas are things we share before we post on YouTube. And usually, after we post on YouTube, the price really pump, okay? So I hope you guys get all these alphas. You guys are experiencing it. You guys love it, okay? Michael is saying, yes, they know about Aether. Amazing. Okay. MC is saying, can you post all this in our chat? Yes, I will post all this in Discord. Okay, I will just fine tune it and then I will post it in Discord. How many of you are really glad you're here today? You're really proud you're here today, right? If you really type our chat, let me know. Now, I know some of you guys, my team just showed me the poll. And the poll is actually very, very interesting. I look at the poll. I actually saw that there's 50% of you guys, 12% of you guys, around 100 of you guys who have never attended a Future Trends event, and this is like your first Future Trends event. So I'm actually very amazed. There's 100 plus of you guys who have never attended Future Trends event before. Now, if you have never attended, I highly encourage you to do this. I have this program called the 3 Days Challenge. In this 3 Days Challenge, we'll guide you guys on how to open an exchange account, how to make your first trade, how to make your first profit. I'll share how I make my analysis. You can see the last round I'm showing analysis on this, if I'm not mistaken, Ethereum. Okay. How many of you here have never attended this 3 Days Challenge by Future Trends before? If you're like completely new to the Future Trends experience, can you guys start a chat me? Let me know. Completely new. Okay. Now, I want you guys to know there's like 1,000 people in this room right now. Okay. I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to put myself in risk. Okay. At risk. Now, for those who have attended 3 Days Challenge, okay. For those who have attended 3 Days Challenge, if there's one word to describe the 3 Days Challenge, what would that be? Okay. If there's only one word to describe the 3 Days Challenge, what would that be? Can you guys type on the chat for those guys who have been through it? All right. So I want you to look at the chat. I'm not going to be telling you how good it is. I saw some of you guys are putting hosts and panelists in your chat. Okay. So if you have never been to 3 Days Challenge, team, can you guys do me a favor? Can you post the link on the chat for those guys who have never been to 3 Days Challenge? Okay. So if you have never been, I want you to know, go and sign up. Go and sign up for the 3 Days Challenge. Okay. I'm going to change the chats to hosts and panelists. Yeah, my team have done that already. Now, I know you guys want to go for a break, but before you go for a break, I actually have something for you guys. I have something very surprising for you guys. It's a bonus for you guys. Okay. My team have, because this event, okay, we are doing this in collaboration with BitUnix. BitUnix is the reason why we are able to organize this event, bring in the top QLs and traders in BitUnix. And not only BitUnix co-organized this event together with us, they actually prepared $1,000 for lucky draw. Okay, $1,000 for lucky draw. So that's 10 winners. So there will be 10 of you guys by the end of today's session who will be walking away with extra 100 USDT. How many of you like that? If you like that, chat, love it. Okay, if you like that, chat, love it. So team, can you guys help me to turn on the lucky draw? Okay, so some of you guys who registered for this event, you registered on your BitUnix ID already. So team, can you, I'm gonna right now select 3 people to get that $300. I don't know who you guys are because you can see it's all pure numbers, so it's very fair. Okay, so team, can you guys just click on it? Okay, so this is the first winner. Now, one of the things I encourage you, all of you to do, wait, don't remove yet. I want all of you guys to take out your mobile phone, go to your BitUnix and go and see your BitUnix ID. Okay, because this is basically your BitUnix ID. Okay, this is your BitUnix ID. Okay, so if you are the winner, I want you look at your BitUnix ID. If this is you, you are the first winner. All right. Okay, team. You want to record this number first, team. You want to record the number, and then we'll go into the second one. All right. Okay. Go to your BitUnix exchange. Okay. Click on your profile, and you can see your UID. Okay. This is only for those who registered for this event using their BitUnix ID. Then you stand a chance to win $100. Okay. This is the second winner. So team, make sure you copy paste this number. Okay, third one. Okay, so we already got 3 winners already. Okay, so guys, I don't know if you guys are on your BitUnix app. I told you guys when you attend this event, the best is you go and register BitUnix account and attend this event. So this is my first surprise for you guys. So they will be, remember, until end of today, we will have total $100 to be given out. It's fully sponsored by BitUnix. Okay, so I've come to the end of today's session already. Not today's session, the first part of this session. Okay, there's 3 parts in total. Okay, there's 3 parts in total. This is only part 1. After the break, we will go into part 2, okay, where Desmond will be coming on board. Okay, so let's go for 10 minutes break. See you guys in 10 minutes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the final spring event. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Thank you so much for showing up. I know it is a Saturday and a lot of you guys are sacrificing time to be here. How are you guys doing today? Anyone misses me so far? Yes, I'm so full of myself. But yes, anyone misses me so far, let me know in the chat, right? Because you have not seen me for a while now. Welcome. And you all know that the bull market is here and we have to really seize the opportunity that the market is giving us today. Now, before I bring up the next speaker that we have today, I need to show you a picture that is very, very private, okay? A picture that's very, very private. Now, this whole entire event was actually created because of this man right here. His name is Luke. I don't even know if Luke is here. This guy is very busy. He's always around. Luke is from BitUnix, and he was telling us that, BitUnix is willing to do something that is very different to support a lot of traders and investors out there. Because as you guys know, for exchange to come in and do this kind of support is actually very, very rare. So then Luke not only supported us in terms of events, Luke also was telling me that, Desmond, do you know that, because obviously you all know that I moved to Dubai last year. Okay, for those of you who do not know, and for those of you who still think that I'm in Asia, I moved to Dubai last year. And Luke was telling me that, do you know that is a very strong trader in Dubai? And I'm like, what do you mean a strong trader? And he was like, this lady is very, very smart. She's very, very good. And the way she trades is like insane, right? And I was like, wait, hold on. You said it's a lady that trades that way? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And then I was like, that's amazing. Because at Future Trends, some of our best traders, as you all know, if you have been in Future Trends long enough, you know that some of our best traders are women. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat. Right? Because when I say this to a lot of people don't agree. We have Evelyn, we have like Amy, absolutely doing very, very well, right? Then this got me even more interested because I really felt like I have to talk to her. I have to talk to this person here. And her name is Annie. We met at this dinner place here in Dubai. Very, very, very interesting. So can I get Annie to unmute and maybe quickly introduce yourself, Annie, and welcome to Future Trends.
Thank you. How are you, Des?
I'm fantastic.
Good to hear. So yes, I'm Annie. I'm from Trade Travel Chill. I am a trader. I've been trading since about 2016. Went through all the mistakes that everybody goes through. I call it the apprenticeship. It's all normal. We learn from those mistakes. And, as long as you don't give up, you eventually turn that into something positive. So I was so dedicated. I was so fascinated by crypto and by trading that, that desire to master it is why I never gave up on it.
Yeah, so I'm just very curious, right? What was your background? How did you get into the world of trading? Because some people here, because we know like all walks of life here in Future Trends, we have people that used to be like directors of public listed companies. We have people that are so sick of their corporate job. We have people that are small business owners who are so sick of their business. We have people that just don't like to deal with people, don't like to talk to people. They just want to be making full-time income trading. So I'm very curious, how did you enter this world? What got you in here? And maybe a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, very similar to that situation. I grew up believing that the way to financial freedom was to be a business owner. That's kind of what we were taught as children. And so I went down the entrepreneur path. When I was younger, I was very creative and very active. My dad was very big on us being into music as well as sport. I ended up combining those and I became a professional dancer. And from there, I opened dance studios and I ended up franchising them. And, I just thought that was the right path. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love. Turn your passion into your business and you'll be financially free forever. And that is not the case. So after, about a decade or so of doing that, I lost my passion. And once I lost my passion, I realized that now I just have a job and I was really quite miserable. And it became a job because, it's not, you never get to switch off. You know, like if you go to work for someone, generally you might have set hours, 9 to 5. Once 5 o'clock hits, you clock off. Whatever happens to that business, not your problem. You get to go home and put your feet up or hang out with your family or whatever. But when you own a business, it is 24/7 stress and 24/7 work, and you are managing a lot of people, and they are different people from, you know, clients that you have to do business deals with, to customers, to staff. And, you know, unless you really, really love managing people, that can be so, so stressful. And I think the combination of all of those things, that's what really led to me losing my passion, because the business got so large that I couldn't dance anymore. So the reason that I started it became the thing that I couldn't do myself anymore. And so I found myself stuck just doing the things that I had to do in order to continue running the business, but there was no more joy. And I realized at that point that, no, this is not financial freedom at all. Like, how is this financial freedom? I am a slave to my business. I didn't get to go on a holiday for like 5 years, like not even a weekend off. And I had a young daughter at the time as well. So was trying to juggle raising her, spending time with her. And it was just impossible. And I fell into cryptocurrency completely accidentally, definitely universe led. You know, it was something out there showing me, hey, there is another path that you have never heard of. And it came about completely accidentally. As I said, my grandparents and I come from a line of entrepreneurs and investors. You know, it's always been that in my family. So it was very normal. But my grandfather in particular was a very, very good investor. And when he passed away, we inherited shares in different stocks. And that was the first I'd ever heard of financial markets. You know, I didn't understand what it was. I didn't understand how to get into it. And so when I inherited these shares, I was like, what do I do with them? You know, like do I just hold them? Like, and they were paying out dividends. So I was getting money into my account every quarter. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. This is like free money for doing nothing. And that kind of intrigued me to want to learn more. And I started joining Facebook groups because I just wanted to understand, what do I do with this stuff, you know? And it was through Facebook groups that somebody just randomly mentioned Bitcoin. And I can't remember exactly what they said about it, but it's something triggered in me that I was like, that sounds really interesting to me. You know, just the idea of decentralized money, that, you know, there's no intermediary. I just like that. And at the time, you know, it wasn't like the world is now, where, you know, we don't trust the banks anymore. And we know that, you know, banks can shut down and there goes your money. Like, we didn't have this knowledge back then. So I didn't really have a reason to think, oh, decentralized money, that's what I want. But just for some reason, it really intrigued me. And so I just went down the rabbit hole learning about what Bitcoin was. And back in those days, there wasn't exchanges like BitUnix. Like, you couldn't just go online and buy it. You had to go to a bank teller and like deposit money, and then just give this random stranger a wallet address, and then hope that Bitcoin would end up in your wallet. And it was really, really hard to obtain it. But I remember getting my first Bitcoin. I'm like, I don't even actually know if this is real. Like, I don't know what I just bought, you know, I don't know, but I like the idea, and let's just see what happens. And, you know, from there, we ended up getting like brokerages in Australia where you could buy, but brokerages like had a really high kind of markup on the fees. But that was the only way you could do it. And now the world is so much better with exchanges and fair pricing and all that sort of stuff, and being able to just do everything online. But it was very, very different back then. And so once I had purchased my first Bitcoin, I was then like, oh, what do I do now? Because I didn't know about trading. I didn't know trading was a thing. And I wasn't in a financial situation where I could just keep buying this thing. I didn't really have disposable income. You know, I was really quite young, and, you know, like all of my money was always reinvested back into the business. So I wasn't in a state where I could just continue buying it. And so somehow, you know, just from being in these Facebook groups and learning how other people invest, I learned about this thing called trading. And I thought, that's great, because all you need is like some sort of initial amount of money. And then if you get really good at it, you can turn that money into more money without having to like physically go and get it from your savings or go and get it from your job. And so, yeah, that's when I started dabbling with just spot trading initially. So, and I don't think I even knew what leverage trading was back then. I don't honestly even know if it was a thing. I think it may have come in a little bit later. So I was just spot trading, and it got to the point where, you know, like my initial purchase was $100 worth of Bitcoin. So like, you know, we're not talking big money, but it was at the phase of the cycle, which I didn't know about cycles yet. I was literally just dabbling. And I turned that into, I think it was $4,000 in a month. And I was just blown away. And this was like just once the brokerage sites came up, I was able to swap that Bitcoin into other altcoins. And so it turns out it was alt season, but I didn't know that. I was just playing around. And when I turned that money into the 4,000, at the time I was like, this pays all of my bills for the month, you know, like, and I haven't had to have a business. I haven't had to deal with customers. I haven't had to deal with staff. You know, I could have just done this from home. Like this is freedom. And then I became obsessed. And so I traded just spot throughout that whole cycle. And then at the time, like if you've been around since in crypto since 2016, 17, you will know that that's when there was a big hype about CME futures coming in. And everybody thought, oh, CME futures, like institutional money, like Bitcoin's just going to keep going forever. And, you know, that was the big run that took crypto to 20K. And the day it comes in, it's over. Like it's over. It just crashed. And we were all sitting there like, what? Like that wasn't meant to happen. And so, yeah, I ended up taking about a year off, and, you know, then I ended up coming back into it, learned about leverage. And then that's when I decided to take trading really, really seriously. Eventually sold the businesses because, you know, I just wasn't into it anymore, and just decided to go full time into trading crypto.
Well, Annie, and when you were getting started, did you start out trading Forex or stocks, or you went straight, I'm talking about margin or specifically futures trading, you went straight into crypto?
I went straight into crypto, but I learned very, very early, because of that mistake, actually, because of that CME futures mistake, I learned very, very early that it doesn't really matter what market you're in. You can learn a lot from people who have, you know, multiple decades worth of experience. And back then I just thought logically crypto had only been around for a few years. So I thought anyone who was only trading crypto simply would not have enough experience. That was my logic, because we just haven't been through enough cycles. So I started turning to watching and reading Forex traders. So I mean, I dabbled a little bit in Forex trading, but I wouldn't say that I dedicate a lot of time to it. It was more that I wanted to understand the strategies, because I wanted to see if I could apply them to crypto and if it would be the same, because the Forex traders would have 20, 30, 40 years of experience. And I wanted to learn from that, you know, that always say like, learn from other people's mistakes. So I wanted to find people who had made it over multiple decades and see if I could apply those rules to crypto. And so my trading strategy does come from Forex. Once I applied it over to crypto, I realized it was all the same, and that essentially it is the same people that move the market. So if you learn those strategies, it allowed me to know when to take time off, when it was going to be unlikely that the market's going to move. And time off is so important. And then I also was able to go from, you know, trading 13 hours a day, which is what I would do when I was trying to get really good, to knowing the 2 hours twice a day that the market is likely to move. And I was able to completely cut my life down. And then all of that fell back in line with what I was saying about freedom. You know, like, why would I go from owning a business where I felt like 24 hours a day I had to manage this business and manage people, to trading 13 hours a day? I hadn't given myself freedom. And so once I learned that if you can apply Forex strategies into crypto, you get your freedom back. And so full-time trading is maximum 3-4 hours a day if you want to, you know?
I like that. So I do have a few questions that I want to ask you, mainly because we want you here because we want to squeeze alphas out of you. We want to know what you have in mind. We want to know what you're investing in, what you're looking into, what are the things that you want to do, right? We want to know a lot of stuff. So basically, I want to know what are the top 3 picks for the next big opportunities you see in crypto and why? Where are the opportunities lie?
Okay. So I'm going to exclude Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana because I assume everybody's probably got that and they're probably the obvious answers. So let's take those ones off the table. I think one of my most favorite altcoins at the moment is Aptos. And the reason for that is, you know, it's similar to Sui. Like they were both developed by teams that originated from Facebook's previous blockchain, Libra. But I chose Aptos over Sui because it feels still underrated to me. And, you know, Sui has already gained so much hype. And, you know, it definitely still has a lot more potential and it has a lot more room to grow. But I feel like Aptos has more room to grow. And I feel like it also fits into, you know, one of the narratives for the cycle that everyone's kind of interested. The technology is called Move, and it's, you know, about faster transactions and everything. So that's probably one. I like it. I think it makes it easier to build decentralized applications, and yeah, I think it's really, really cool. So I also met the founder on one of a trip to, I actually went to the Olympics in Paris, which was so cool. And I met him there, and, you know, I believe in people. So big fan of Aptos. And I think that, you know, even though altcoins seem to be running at the moment, I still think it's undervalued and has a lot more room to go. So that would be my first one. My second one is Injective Protocol. And, you know, it's been a really fast mover. So I like it. I very much like the way the chart looks for Injective as well. You know, not just fundamentals, but the chart is impressive to me. It kind of had its own little kind of bull run in March. And I think it was all-time high was $58 or something like that. You know, it has a combination of interoperability and AI, which I think are two really, really popular sectors for this bull run. So I think it's like probably one of the best decentralized layer 1 blockchains, and, you know, with a pretty good focus, especially in the financial markets. So yeah, I like it. It's backed by, you know, pretty good investors, and yeah, that would probably be my number 2 pick. And then my third pick, I think that would be Fetch AI, probably, which has just been rebranded. So it's been rebranded to ASI, which is Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. And I like it because, you know, it's a good blend of AI and decentralization. Again, you know, just two good narratives for this cycle. And I think it's quite revolutionary. And again, I think that it's still got a lot more room to run. So there's still going to be opportunities where even if altcoins are kind of running now, they're either going to consolidate or we're going to get decent pullbacks, and there's still time to get in. So for me, it's about not what I like that has already moved. Like, I think Solana this cycle has already done 1,700% or something like that. It's about finding what I think is going to move next. And I think these three have they're off to a good start.
I think what you were sharing was very important, which is to find something that is going to move next. Because I saw on your YouTube stream, I think recently, was it a day or 2 days ago? I think people were asking you about Sui, because Sui is doing such a strong marketing campaign, right? And everyone is literally asking you, hey, Annie, I need to know about Sui. Should I buy Sui now? Because they're FOMOing due to the fact that the price movement moves so insanely. Like, what's your thought on Sui? Because Sui is very similar to Aptos. And previously, when we had Peter from House of Crypto on today's stream, he also said he's into Aptos more than Sui right now because Sui has moved insanely, 3x to 5x, right? Aptos, he felt like there's still opportunity. But what's your thought on this? Like, do you agree? Do you disagree? Why?
Yeah, I do. I totally agree. I think, look, I don't have anything against Sui, and I'm not saying that I think it's topped out. It may have topped out potentially for now, but I just think, you know, if something has moved so much already, a really, really good strategy, if you're someone who is still trying to, you know, kind of navigate crypto, and you don't, you know, there's so many altcoins out there that how do you know what to buy next? A really good strategy is to just let the first mover move, like in whatever narrative, just let the first mover move, then go and research and find out what are its competitors, because the competitors will likely have not moved yet. And so that's where you will have a much better opportunity, because they will likely move as a result of the first mover moving, and therefore you can get in at a much better price than looking at Sui. And I saw there on your chart, when you're on a lower time frame, you had a wave 5. Like, why would you buy at wave 5? You know, so you know, again, if Sui has a really big pullback, like eventually, I don't think like soon, but eventually we will have one of those big liquidation wipeouts when liquidity just gets way too overhyped and funding rates get really excessive. We will have that. And maybe if you want to add Sui to your portfolio, then you might get it at a decent price. But here, like, it just doesn't make sense to me when you can get its competitors much cheaper.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why people like Sui so much is because I think a lot of people are using their emotions when it comes to investing and trading. So they felt like, wow, this thing is pumping like crazy. I don't want to miss out. Let me buy at this retracement.
Yeah.
But this is where, you know, skills like what Annie was saying just now with wave 5, that's part of Elliott impulsive wave. For those of you who are new to technical analysis, this is something that Annie uses a lot on her YouTube channel, which I recommend you guys follow. It's a little bit deep for a lot of people who are new to trading, but it's really, really good. I really recommend you guys to follow her channel. I think my team will drop the link later. So Sui is one of those ones that a lot of people are talking about, but I also want to go deeper into trading as well, because more than 50% of today's audience are traders, they're futures traders, perpetual traders, right? So I would like to know, maybe if you can explain, what is your go-to trading strategy to identify like good probability setup? Like, how do you look for opportunities, and then how do you do the setups?
Yeah, sure. Can I share my screen?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is a basic model that I trade, and it again, like I said, it comes from Forex, and it tends to repeat week after week. Now, this model can play out on all time frames. So it may look easy once I explain it to you, but the hard part of it is trying to figure out which time frame it's playing out on at each point in time. So when we turn into kind of what we are now, where the macro trend is bullish, you'll see this pattern play out on much higher time frames than, say, where we're in the accumulation range, you know, at the bottom of the bear market. This will likely play out every week. And so the typical model is that weekends tend to be really low volume, right? And it's called a weekend trap because what tends to happen on a weekend is price just moves sideways, and like I said, there's no volume, so there's no trend. Most of the time there's no trend. And the goal of the weekend is, you know, the CMEs are off, so market makers aren't trading. This method comes from a Forex method called the market maker method, right? So it's all about trying to identify where big money is trying to move the market. And then once you can identify it, you follow along with them, as opposed to becoming their liquidity and you know, your trade's just not playing out. So once you can identify what they're doing, you can get involved, and then their volume pushes your trades into bigger profits. So on the weekends, they're not around. So if they're not around, we have super low volume. But the market makers, with crypto being 24/7, they want to entice retail traders to open positions, because when it comes to futures trading, every time you open a position, you have an entry point, you have either a stop loss or a liquidation point, and that liquidation point can be very close to your entry depending on how high your leverage is. And then you will also have a take profit. So for the market maker, they're always hunting your liquidation level because that's how they make their profit, and it's also how they build their own contracts. They can't trade the way we trade because we can just go to an exchange. We can just put in, $1,000 at $60,000 Bitcoin is what I want to buy, and choose your leverage, and bang, if price goes there, your order will get filled. Market makers can't do that because they are trading much, much bigger size than us, that if they were to just go and put a limit order on an exchange, they would move the market, and that would end up giving them a terrible average entry. So they can't do it that way. They have to do it by trying to take out our positions. So on the weekends, when price goes sideways, the goal here is to get you to commit to a trade. And they do this in a number of ways. One of the ways that they do this on a weekend is by boring you into a position. And, if you have been trading, you probably, sometimes when we hear me talk about this stuff, it feels like I'm calling you out. Just know that I'm also calling myself out because I've been through these lessons, and this is why I know it's true. When price just consolidates and goes sideways and does absolutely nothing, because as humans, we generally lack patience, we will guess a position. We will just guess, if it's going sideways, it's struggling, I'm going to open a short. Or you'll guess, it's going sideways, it's building up momentum, I'm going to open a long. So over the weekend, when price goes sideways, there will be a lot of retail traders that are opening both long positions and short positions, and their liquidation level is going to be just a little bit above the consolidation or a little bit below, depending if they went long or short. Now, as long as you've made that commitment, the market maker can come in on Monday and wipe out your trade. And the reason they keep it sideways for the whole weekend is so that whatever trade you opened here doesn't hit your take profit. They need you to stay in an open position. And as long as you do that, once the weekend comes, you'll have this here, what is called a false move. That false move is just a small move. It doesn't need to be a very large move, but the goal of this false move is to hit your stop loss, or if you don't have one and you're a high leverage trader, hit your liquidation. It will usually hit your 100x or 50x liquidation point for traders who trade on that high leverage. Once the false move is made, the market maker has collected his contracts and they're ready to move out into the opposite direction. So the false move in this case, if it was to the downside, we will then reverse at some point, usually on the Monday. And the reversal signal is the higher low. So if you understand what the market makers are doing, you're looking for that higher low. And after that, they will generally hit to the high 3 times. And that can happen just in 3 bursts of price action to the upside. It can also happen just over 3 days. So the rule of 3 is very, very important. And that's because it's a psychological number. You've probably heard things like, 3rd time lucky, things happen in 3s. Like the market makers know that, the markets are all based on psychology and they know how we think. And so they push things in 3s because they want to entice you into a position. And then this final move here, where is the third one that usually leads to the reversal. So this is where the late retail tend to get in, very similar to the wave 5 of Elliott wave that was on Des's chart. And when the retail panic can get in because they've now spent 2 days seeing price just go up and just not pulling back, they're now, I better get in now, otherwise, I'm never going to get in. So this will have the most retail jump in a long position. The market maker around the middle of the week, usually lined up with a news event, they will then issue a reversal, which if you understand, it's called an M formation, and it's simply a spike to the high that traps the absolute most final late longs. And then we repeat the level, but we don't make it all the way there. Once we get that signal, again, if you understand this method, that's where you know to take profit on your long and open a short position and ride it with the market maker back down. So this here is called a midweek reversal. We'll write it back down into the Friday. And then on Friday, price can be quite manipulative because it's trying to trap retail into the weekend again so that they hold their open positions all weekend. So this is the model that I stick to. And my goal every week is just to figure out, what is the false move? Because once I can understand it, I now know I've got a trade I can hold on to for about 3 days. And then around the middle of the week, I'm checking, Forex calendars to see what news events are coming up. Sometimes they're Wednesday, usually they're Thursday. And around those news events, I'll be looking for something like this. And if I get the right signal, I close that trade, I open a short trade, and then, I ride that down until Friday. This can also happen the other way too. So the false move, if it happens to the upside, then we'll have 3 days down, midweek reversal, 3 rises up, back into the weekend trap. So usually this will happen over 1 week. It can get extended out to 2 weeks. When we end up in a macro trend like we're in right now, well, sorry about that. I'll just put this on mute. When we turn into the macro trend like we are now, then it can feed up into higher time frames. So right now, this is the Bitcoin daily chart, and this is how it's playing out. So you see here, we had the M formation that started our multi-month consolidation that was extremely annoying. This was the level 1 drop through here, retracement. This was level 2, retracement. This was level 3. And so that, if I go back to my thing here, was this M formation, 3 level drops. And then from there, you see how you can identify the W formation. So this was where I was, once we got this move down here on YouTube, I was telling people a lot, like, look out for that second side, high or low. And the only reason that I was saying that was because of these 3 levels right here, because I could count them and I knew what was going on. So once we got that high low, it was time to act. And this right here shows you, if I mark this out, see this wick and how price never returned there? This here is your trapped traders. So before the market can move out massively like this, it has to trap traders in the wrong direction. This wick would have only happened because people opened short positions here. And also long positions, but short positions. So the short positions that opened here got trapped because price never returned there. And then once enough were trapped, they were able to move out. And through here now, what we're seeing is this is the level 1 rise, came into a retracement and consolidation, and currently we're in the level 2. So we should have 1 more level to go for this before we end up having a 3-level drop. So yeah, that's the basic pattern. Now, in addition to that, I line that up with liquidity so that I can understand where people's liquidation points are. And the reason that that's important is because moves like this are designed to liquidate people who keep shorting. And I know it might sound crazy because you think, oh, we're in a bull market. Why would anyone short? Believe me, everybody thinks we're going to not go above 85K, so they short. We're not going above 90K, so they short. Like, there are so many shorts sitting at 100K right now because people believe we won't break 100K. And I can prove that to you. Let's see if I'm going to look like an idiot now. This what I'm showing you right now, this is a heat map of where all of the current limit orders are. So this software is called Trading Light. It is a paid software. And the way that you use it is you just zoom out and you're looking for these high level kind of red orders right here. This shows you where there are limit orders waiting. If it's below price, they're waiting to buy Bitcoin at that price on leverage. And if it's above price, they're waiting to sell. They're waiting to short Bitcoin at a high price. So we only care about the high level orders because the high level orders are what can move the market. And these orders here are between 89.8 to 90,200 currently. We don't have huge orders above price, but last I checked, if we go to the spot one, we do. So look here, see here how we've got this big red line here. So this is really quite significant. This is 995 orders at 100K. And what that means is you would multiply 995 times 100K to get the dollar value of how many people are trying to sell there. And so when you see that, that's where you would expect that if price does push up into there and those limit orders stay there, then there's a good chance that that will cause a temporary reversal or a local top or something like that. In addition to doing that, you also want to see the current open position. So remember, this is only limit orders. They're not filled yet. They won't fill unless price goes there and the orders remain at the time the price gets there. So when we're looking at this, we combine this with a map like this. Sorry, this might blind you on white. But we combine that with something like this. Now, this is a liquidity heat map, and this is showing us the current open positions. So it's different to this one because this one's showing where people want to get involved, whereas, sorry, my tabs have gotten lost. This one is showing people who already have opened their positions. So what we're looking for on this is really bright yellow zones. This shows us that where there's high levels of liquidity. Again, if it's above price, this would be the liquidation points of currently open short positions. If it's below price, it's the liquidation point of currently open long positions. So when we look at this here, the highest point I can see currently is at 98,900. And what that means is that on this move here, a lot of people open short positions and their liquidation point would be just above the price. So when you see that at 98.9, and then you see that there are sell orders at 100K, if price pushed right through, it would liquidate these people, it would pick up those sell orders, and then we would see the retracement from there. So that's pretty much how I combine, these three pieces of data, the pattern, along with the current open positions, along with the current limit orders. And that's how I sort of design where I think we're going to get major pivots. And I'm looking to trade major pivots.
This is very interesting because you are not just a technical trader, you are also a data trader. So you're taking data into account, specifically liquidation heat map, as well as Trading Light is actually looking a lot into order books, right? You're doing order books research to make sure that you know exactly where the liquidity lies, which is something that in future trends we actually talk a lot about. It's not just about support and resistance, because I think a lot of course creators out there that were just teaching people to draw lines and just say that the lines will save you. The lines is where you buy your orders, or the lines is where you sell. It's not that simple, because if it's that simple, this is called retail concept, which is where the market maker will come and take your stop loss, right? How many of you are learning something from Annie so far? Please type in Annie in the chat. I'd like to know, right? Because I also want to know, right? Obviously, you are very good at trading, and then you are also investing as well. So I want to know a little bit about how you allocate your portfolio in terms of your long-term holds, short-term trades. Like in future trends, one of the things we talk about is if your budget is not huge, if your capital is not huge, one of the things that you should go for is you need to learn how to trade first, because you need to learn how to read the chart, right? Once you've made some money, then you invest spot. Otherwise, if you're investing spot, let's say you're investing in Bitcoin, it's quite hard to make the exponential gain right now, right? Compared to trading. Okay, so I just want to know a little bit about like how do you allocate your portfolio? How do you allocate your capital, especially right now we're in a bullish scenario?
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. A couple of things. I think that when it comes to investing, you have to have a really long-term plan, whereas trading is a lot more short-term. Trading is about collect profits along the way in high frequency. The biggest reason people don't make it as traders is they hold their trades for too long. They might get a good position and they don't take profit because they just think it's going to go forever. Or once they get a good position, they don't want to exit it because it was so hard to get in the first place. So trading is all about taking profits, as often as you can. Whereas investing, you have to have a longer term plan. Now, for me, again, it comes back to, how much data can you get on each thing to decide as to whether or not, you should hold that thing. And for me, the only thing in crypto that is worth holding through multiple cycles is Bitcoin. That's it. So I have always dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin in addition to trading. However, I have a dollar cost average strategy that I call the supercharged strategy. And so it's not about just buying the same amount every week, no matter what. It's about, I lower how much depending on where we are in the cycle. I lower it as the price is rising, and at some point I stop. And then when we hit the bear market, the amount that I lowered it by, that still gets saved at that point in time, by the way. So once we drop and we're in a bear market, I then double my buys. So I get a lot lower average entry by doing it that way. And I don't have to be a great trader to do it. I just have to understand the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. And that's pretty easy for anyone to understand. So I'm always dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. When it comes to altcoins, I don't believe that you should hold any altcoin beyond one cycle. That's just my belief until, like I said, crypto's been around for longer and we have history to prove that your altcoin's not going to do a 90% retracement, then maybe I'll change my mind then, but it hasn't happened yet. So when it comes to altcoins, I'm only looking to get involved when the particular altcoin that I want becomes bullish against Bitcoin. If it's not bullish against Bitcoin, then my money is better off in Bitcoin. So, you might look at altcoins that look cheap and want to buy them, but if they're still bearish against Bitcoin, then you actually have an opportunity loss. And especially if you don't have a lot of capital, you have to be very smart about that because, yeah, great, maybe you bought this coin at $1 and that was, its peak formation low, but it could still be bearish against Bitcoin. And if it is, its percentage gains aren't going to be as big. So therefore, that's the opportunity loss, even though you might make money. And so that's what I'm looking for when I get into altcoins. Now, as far as like how I allocate everything, I have different buckets and they are all separate to each other. So I have one bucket I call my retirement portfolio, and that is that's where I dollar cost average Bitcoin. And also when we have really big liquidation hunts, I'll take my profits from trading and I'll spot buy Bitcoin and I'll put it over there. And until now, like I now live in Dubai, but prior to living in Dubai, I used to live in Australia. In Australia, we have ridiculously high tax. So it was not worth selling in a bear market because you have to pay the capital gains tax on it. So bang, you've lost 40%, 48%. The chances of you buying the absolute bottom in a bear market, even if you're a great trader, it's very slim. The chances of you selling the absolute top is also slim. So if you shave 10, 15%, 20% off the bottom and then 20% off the top and then the tax, and you combine all those percentages, it's not actually worth selling if you're in a high tax country. You are better off, and what I'm saying only applies to Bitcoin, you're better off just always holding it through multiple cycles and continuing to add to it through your profits from trading. But now that I live in Dubai, I don't get taxed. So I may do that a little bit differently this cycle. I'm not really 100% sure. The other question I ask myself is when it comes to selling is, do I really think that I'm ever going to get it as cheap as what I initially bought it? So, in this cycle, 15,600 was my target for a really long time. And that's basically where Bitcoin went, I think, very close, within $100 range anyway. So now when this cycle ends, my thought is going to be, do I really think Bitcoin's ever going to go to $15,600 again? If I don't, then I'm not going to sell, so, and that might be a psychological thing because I don't want to buy a low when the low is higher than my previous low, so I may as well just hold it. But, some altcoins did 100% retracement. So why would I don't want to hold them through those things. And you've probably also noticed that a lot of the narratives in one cycle don't carry over to the next cycle. Last cycle, gaming was all the rage. Where is it now? So they don't always carry over. And so you're taking a really big risk holding through multiple cycles. So when it comes to altcoins, and I think that, altcoins are starting to bottom out against Bitcoin, I will have a completely separate allocation. I will decide how much money do I want to put into this cycle, and that is dedicated only to those altcoins. Then I decide, okay, I want a good mix. I want some low risk altcoins, medium risk, and some high risk. And then I just work out what percentage of each do I want. And the way you work out your percentages comes down to your lifestyle. So you have to take your age into consideration. You know, if you're young, you can take higher risks because you can recover. You've got time in life to recover. If you're a little bit older, we have to be a little bit more conservative, you know. And so age comes into it, your responsibilities come into it, your disposable income comes into it, your time that you have to dedicate comes into it. So it's a very personal decision how you allocate. But I do it based on asking myself those questions. And then, so then I have, that's my altcoin bucket. And then, so I've got retirement, I've got altcoin. Then I have my trading bucket, which is, that's constant because it doesn't matter if we're in a bear market or a bull market. When you futures trade, you can trade all the time, which is what makes it so powerful. Like a bear market can be just as profitable to you as a bull market. We don't have to wait for 1 year every 4 years to make money. So it's amazing. But that stays completely separate. And I would not take my investment money and put it into my trading bucket, but I take my trading bucket. And once that has made profits, I rotate that into longer term investments.
I absolutely love that. In Future Trends, one of the things that we actually do is that we make the fast money in cryptocurrency. Yeah. And what we do next is that we actually extract the money out and invest into strong blue chip stocks, specifically US stocks. And the reason is because I cannot imagine myself when I'm like 80 years old still holding onto Sui and Aptos. You know, so I think you want to sleep better at night. Sometimes you have to get some of your money, some of the assets in stocks. That's how I feel. We have to be a multi-asset investors and also a trader. That's always how I feel. Because in the bear market, trading crypto is not going to be like right now. It's going to be a totally different. I mean, we went through it. We knew exactly how horrendous it could be sometimes, you know, where we could just get make a wrong move and then our account can get blown up. But one of the things I want to ask you is talking about trading, right? Because you were giving some really good points just now. Do you see yourself more of like a day trader, intraday, scalper, swing? What kind of trader are you, do you feel?
Yeah, I change with the market. I change. So when we're in the accumulation phase, so after the bear market bottom is in, and we're in the accumulation phase goes for about a year. So in that time, the model that I showed you is very, very accurate on the 1 hour chart. And it's really, really easy. It's the easiest time to make money. And that's also why I find this trading strategy so powerful, because that accumulation phase at the bottom of the bear market is where we have the lowest interest from anyone. Everybody's given up on crypto. They've been badly burnt. They don't care. And but that is the actual best time to be accumulating as much profit as you can. So short-term trading is so powerful. So if you can get just one trade every 3 days and have your weekends off, like what's more powerful than that? And so I find that is very, very predictable there. Once we break out and we go into, so you have micro, intermediate, and macro trends, right? Micro trends happen on small timeframes, 1 hour time frame and under. And when we're in that micro trend, that's when that strategy works really, really well. The intermediate is kind of from 1 hour to maybe 12-hour time frame, I'd say. And that's kind of where the micro trend and the macro trend might be doing the opposite thing. And so the intermediate trend is where you're waiting to see if it feeds up, if the trend is going to feed up. The macro trend would be above 12 hours, so say daily, weekly, monthly. So when you have all three of those in the same direction, so which we basically have now, so we know we're in a bull market, so the daily time frame is bullish, the 4 hour time frame is bullish, the 15-minute might be bullish, then you take that model and you go up. So when I showed you my chart previously, I was showing you the levels on the daily time frame. So right now, all I care about is the daily time frame, and I'm just looking for those big liquidation kind of moves to help me reset the counts so that I can get my lowest position possible, and I will hold that trade. Sometimes I held Bitcoin leverage trade in the last cycle from 10,500 to 45,000, just based off that model in one leverage trade on a futures contract. And the only reason I had to close it is because it was like it was the expiry date, so I couldn't hold it longer. But in the accumulation phase, I wouldn't hold a trade longer than 3 days. So my goal always now, when we're in this phase of the cycle, my goal is to try to get that one really big trade when we really have a scary kind of washout and everyone's panicking. I want to get that. I'm looking for my W formation wherever it exists, and then I'm getting in. And once I have that, I now have the peace of mind of knowing that I've caught the bottom of the macro trend and I can just let that ride. And then all my other trading that I will do on shorter timeframes throughout that period, whilst that trade is playing out, is just skill practice to me. And I still skill practice because I don't want to get complacent, and I just like really understanding the market. So I may not trade the smaller timeframes currently as much, but I'll still make sure, like, I'm looking at charts every day. If I see a good opportunity on a smaller time frame, I'll take it because I want to keep my skill up. So yeah, I can be trading short term and long term at the same time.
I really like that, because right now I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot, because this is what a lot of people want to know, right? Right now, Bitcoin is showing a little bit of an M shape on the top, right? On the 12-hour chart. Like, what's your thought on it? Like, are you seeing a retracement coming soon?
Yeah. Now, I actually did a tweet about this yesterday because I am doubting myself. But I think that's okay as well. Like, I think there's not enough traders out there that will just be honest when they don't know, and that's okay. If you don't know, you just sit on your hands until you feel a little bit more certain. But yes, so very interesting about that. My idea, do you mind if I share my chart on it?
Of course. Let me just quickly stop share. There you go.
Okay. So let me see if I still have it marked up. I think it's on the 8-hour. Yeah. I've removed some things. Okay.
Well, and just to let you know, we hope that next week will be a retracement, because we want to go in and buy more. We all are believers.
Yeah. So I actually let me just show you my Twitter, because I have the actual chart on there. This was the tweet that I did here, where I said the US holiday period, so it's Thanksgiving, and sometimes that can make the model really unpredictable. But this was the trade idea that I had, where one idea was, I believe that, at this level right here, we will come down. We have those very high level orders. Remember, I showed them to you here. Wait, it was on the futures chart. Remember, I showed you these here. So we have these orders are between 89.8 to 90,200, and they're still there. So my idea was that this here was sort of like a bit of a correction, and we wouldn't make it past this red candle right here, and we'll come down, we'll pick those up. So I'm expecting some sort of a retracement, but not a huge scary one. I don't think we're at the point for a huge scary one, because the funding rates are fine. The liquidity is not super huge right now. So I was hoping for this one, but at the same time, this pink line here at 93.8, there were also fairly large buy orders there. And so I thought, okay, if it comes down into these buy orders and they hold, that's where I will say that this original idea is invalidated, and that's actually going to create a higher low, which would end up being a W formation, and we will go out and break up. So I was looking for one of these two scenarios. And what kind of threw me off to the point where I said, I really don't know anymore, was this. So this is the yellow line there, was that we broke above it yesterday. Now, usually when we break above it, that does mean we're going to continue up. But the second chance is the top of this red candle right here, which is where we're at right now. So I do still have some hope for this scenario, down into those levels I spoke about. Won't know, it's a weekend now, so price will be unpredictable. But if we do, I don't think at this point we'll get too much lower than that. The point will be, if this one does end up playing out, look for very strong pivots here. And if we don't get them, then we will expect further downside. But if we get a strong pivot, just because there's so many buy orders, that might be the lowest we're going to go for now. And if we do that, then back to the daily time frame, that's where I think that, see how I've only got 2 counts? That's where I think level 3 will play out. So I don't see a really huge, deep, scary correction until the level 3 on the daily.
That's very, very insightful. How many of you find that section or that segment to be very insightful, guys? Help you guys prepare for the next coming 7 to 14 days. I do believe that a big move is coming in the next 7 to 14 days. And guys, we have to be patient. Don't chase the price. Don't try to like FOMO in, because we're not a retail, guys. We don't trade like retailers. And if you trade like retailers, there's no point of you even listening to this.
Yeah.
Okay. You might as well just hit the buy button, forget about it, and come back to this 3 months later, right? So it's been so good. But I want to just really cap it out by just asking you a little bit more about trading side. Like there are a lot of traders that want to become better, and a lot of traders, they sign up for courses, they watch like a gazillion videos on YouTube trying to be a lot better. Well, what do you think is that one overlooked tactic or habit that help you to become so consistent as a trader?
I mean, it's hard to put it down to one, you know that, right? But I think the managing your emotions, I think, is very, very important. But I think that ties into other things as well. So once you learn this, everything that I've spoken about today, and you start to understand how big money is trying to get you into some sort of an emotion, once you learn that in depth, you're then like, oh, I'm not going to let you play with my feelings like that, you know? and that's what gives you strength, because you start to see, because you see the manipulation in candles when you understand it, and you start to go, I know what you're trying to get me to do, and so I'm not going to do that. I know where you're going to go after this, and that's where you get involved. So I think learning that is very important. I think it's more important than just learning any trading strategy, you know? I think also trying to remove as much opinion as possible is very, very important. So you spoke before about support and resistance. I personally don't believe in support and resistance, because that line that you draw, it's so subjective. Where you might draw your support could be completely different to where I draw mine. So who's right? And that's why instead I work off liquidation levels, because that is factual data. Open orders, it's factual data. EMAs are a mathematical equation, you know. Volume, it's there, like it's a fact that volume came in. So I'm always looking for facts. And I instead of support and resistance, I trade other things that are like the highest point of last week or the lowest point of last week. That's a fact. That candle went there. You know, I don't have to guess it. I'm not going to draw the highest point differently to you, because we're all looking at the same chart. So I think that's really important. And those things help you to remove emotions. Some you may have discovered, like if any of you guys watching have learned traditional technical analysis, you know, you may be comparing your chart to a friend who's drawn a symmetrical triangle, but you've drawn a wedge, and now you're both like, which one is right? So, you know, so all of these things they add to confusion. So I think really like look for data, look for facts, you know, facts that help you to remove emotion. And then also look for facts that go against your opinion, because maybe you haven't thought of something that you should be considering. And so, yeah, I think like your emotions around your desire to make money they're bigger than you can imagine. And the faster that you learn to manage that, the better. The other thing that ties into that is if you are forcing yourself to try and trade every single day, and you don't take time away, you don't step away because you have this thought in your mind, what if I miss out? That's like doing so much damage to you that it's unimaginable. So you have to, in order to have a good mindset around trading, you have to step away, and you have to take time to, because when you come back to the chart, things just become a lot more clearer. So just decide what days are you not going to look at a chart at all. For me, it's the weekends. So come US session on Friday, I finish my trading. I either move my stop loss into profit if I want to hold it through the weekend, or I close my trades and that's it, I'm done. And I don't come back to the chart till Sunday night. So I get that break. Now, could the market move 20% on a Saturday? Yep. But the only thing I would say to myself in that point is, did I have a good weekend? And if I did, then that's fine. Whatever, the market moved 20%. The market's like, it's going to move randomly all the time. Like, that's going to happen. There's going to be more weekends that price does nothing than there were going to be weekends that price does 20%, you know? So just take your weekends off, get away and come back fresh face. Because the other important thing is, sorry, I'm really rambling here, but the other really important thing to understand is that when you are trading against market makers are across different time zones, right? So you've got a UK market maker that's doing UK session. You've got an Asian market maker and you've got a US market maker. Now, the US market maker, or all of them, they turn up at 9 o'clock because it's a job for them. They turn up at 9 o'clock. They manipulate the market all day. They clock off at 4, 5 o'clock and their day is done. So they're getting the fresh sleep, you know, they're getting time away from the charts. If you're trying to trade Asia, UK, and US, and you're trying to trade all 3 sessions every day, you're not getting the same rest they are. So of course they're going to make better decisions than you.
Yeah, so a lot of people are asking in the chat and also Q&A about the timing as well. So I'm assuming that you will trade majority of the time based on the time that we're here, supposedly the London session and the New York session, right?
Yes. So there's an indicator you guys can get. I created it. If you have a Tradingview account, just go and search market session times by Trade Trouble Chill. Free indicator. You can add it to your chart and it's going to put these lines or dots. You can play with the settings and it's going to automatically mark out for you the Asia session times, UK and US, and it's regardless of what time zone you're in. It's always set to US, even when we have daylight savings. So you don't have to play with the settings. They're always going to be correct. It shows on the 1 hour time frame and lower. And let me just very quickly show it to you actually.
Yeah, let's do that.
So if I go to the 1 hour, so it shows only Monday to Friday. So this is it down here. And no, let me do 15 minute. Okay, so this is it down here. And so it's showing you Asia, UK, US. In between every session, there's a half-hour gap. That half-hour gap is your best time to get trades. You'll notice that the last 4 dots of Asia and the last 4 dots of UK are colored. So it's that hour that the price tends to move. It's called an extension. And that extension helps you to understand what the next session is going to do. So over that period of time right there is the best time to trade. And then again, if you are around at the end of UK, over that session is the other next best time to trade. The US is a bit different. You'll see that the first 3 hours are colored instead. That's because there's a trading strategy called the New York reversal. And that means that whatever trend happened throughout the day, especially if it's been happening for 3 days, we're at high risk in the first 3 hours of US for the price to reverse. So if it doesn't get to, like if it gets beyond the 3 hours, the trend is likely to stay the same. But this is the best time to look for trend reversals. So you can just add this, and also it only shows Monday to Friday. So you'll see that on weekends it's empty. So this here where you see it empty is telling you this is the weekend trap. And then this little, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but this little kind of 3 hours here is shaded a different color. That's called the dead gap zone. So that's when the CME market technically opens. However, Asia doesn't start for 3 hours later. So the best two hours per day, or 2 hours twice per day, is end of Asia into UK and end of UK into US. If you don't see your entries there, then you can pretty much just not trade the rest of that day. That's it.
Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Guys, how many of you are getting so much value from Annie today? If that's you typing me in the chat, right? I think, Annie, you can see people are loving it. In future trends, we believe that we don't believe in retail concept. We believe that we don't believe that one single line, everyone has the same single line on the same price, especially the price can be so subjective, right? We always believe in zones. We believe in data, right? That's one of the things that we believe in. You got to show me how, don't just tell me what to do. You got to show me why then we will trade according to that. I love that. So one of the things that, in future trends, what we want to do with Annie from Trade Travel Chill is hopefully in the future, we can work on a masterclass, we can work on a workshop together. How many of you would be interested in something like that? Type in love in the chat. I just want to know, right? Type in love in the chat. One thing I love about how Annie trades, because very rarely I meet someone who also trade against retail. I like that because people call us contrarian trader, which I disagree. I just feel like we are data traders. We are just logical traders. And we are not very emotional. Okay, which is good. I see people say Team Australia. I don't know why. There's some Australians here as well, which is insane, amazing.
That's
right,
cool.
Annie, I would like to thank you so much for showing up today and giving not only so much strategies and information and the indicator, but also sharing what you're investing into. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Annie, and I hope everyone here, please type in Annie in the chat so that we can give her a big round of applause and thank her for her time as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to, let me just quickly take a look what's on the agenda right now. Okay, we have a lucky draw, guys. We have a lucky draw. So as y'all know, BitUnix is very, very generous. How many of you see that already? Type in BU for BitUnix, right? Not only they have brought on speakers like William, brought speakers like Peter, and then now Annie sharing like amazing alphas that even money cannot buy. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat. Type in A in the chat if you agree that even money cannot buy these type of strategies, these type of tips. I told you guys that future trends, we will over deliver. We will make sure you guys are getting 10 times more than what you're expecting. Again, there's no motivation here. There's no like dancing here. There's no like selling you anything here. We're just telling you how to make money in this bull market. How many of you agree? Type in double A in the chat, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into the lucky draw right now. Okay, we're going to go straight into the lucky draw right now because I want to give some money away because BitUnix is calling me and saying, we got to give some money away because we're going to get these people, capturing opportunity in this bull market right now. How many of you feel lucky right now? If you feel lucky, type in lucky in the chat, right? Okay, type in lucky in the chat. Amazing. Okay, fantastic. So how about team? Can we draw the first one? The first UID. Come on, let's go. Let's see what numbers we get. Okay. There's so many UIDs here that the whole thing is lagging on my side. I don't know about you guys, but let's see what number we get out of this. We get 819-847-147. Congratulations. You make $100. This is compliments from BitUnix. Okay, so make sure you have that number. My team will also record the number down and then I'll later send into the Discord for you guys as well. Let's try to draw a second one. Let's go. Okay, another $100 given away. Let's do that. Okay, we have 465-471-154. That's amazing. Make sure you check your UID, check your BitUnix account. Okay, and then we'll draw the last one. Let's go. If you're feeling lucky, type in lucky in the chat. Okay. Amazing. 599-742-157. So amazing, guys. If this all will be given to you very, very soon. My team will actually be summarizing the UID number and then be sharing with you guys so that you guys can also claim the $100 that will be added into your BitUnix account. Okay, but remember this, guys. This is not the end. This is just a halfway point. Today's event, we're at a halfway point. How many of you felt like you already gotten 10 times the value? Type in 10x in the chat. Type in 10x in the chat. I'd like to know. Okay, so one of the things that I want you to know is that we're about to bring on perhaps one of the most powerful brand in crypto. Okay, we are about to bring on one of the most powerful brand, one of the most powerful community, one of the most powerful media company and research company in crypto. Let me ask you this question: if I can bring the number one in crypto in this category, okay, if I can bring the number one in the category, do you think you can learn something from this guy? Yes or no? Okay, or this lady? Yes or no? Right? Remember, we're gonna be giving you the best, and we're gonna be announcing something very, very big. But also one more thing. How many of you still feel like you still have some luck left? Like you feel like, oh, you missed out the first lucky draw, you missed out the second lucky draw. You feel like, man, this is so unfair, right? The God of prosperity is not with me. The God of luck is not with me. Like this is awful. Like I'm having the worst luck. If you feel a little bit like that, typing me in the chat. It's okay, right? Because At the end of today's session, we also have another lucky draw for you. This time we're giving away $400. Okay? For $100, 100, 100, 100, 100, so that you also have a chance to learn how to trade, to use this trading vouchers or even money to trade yourself. Up to you. You do whatever you want to do with it. Okay? How many of you would like to feel lucky for the last round later? Type in lucky again in the chat, right? So what I'm going to do is we are going to go for 10 minutes break right now as we are preparing our next speaker. And this next speaker is going to blow your mind, and we will be making a secret announcement at the end of the talk as well. Don't miss out on this one. This is going to be a big one. Okay, we're going to start the 10 minutes break right now. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back to the stage. Welcome back to the platform. Welcome back to the final sprint. So happy to have you guys here. Just wanted to check with you guys when we promised that the final sprint, it's going to be extremely valuable for you, the information, the alphas, the strategies. Did we fulfill the promises so far? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. Right, I want to talk to you guys. I want to make this interactive. Okay, yes or no? 1,000%, 10,000%. Right? It's insane. We're giving you a lot, but to be honest with you, I think the best has yet to come. Right? Because John, we have a very special guest that we want to bring up later on. But maybe you want to talk a little bit about this special guest.
Yeah, I think this special guest is one of the OGs, original gangster in the industry when it comes to crypto YouTube. Started this, I think, in my first bull run. I think he started this in my first bull run around 2018. Right now, 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube. Personally, I watch them a lot as well because they are one of those guys who simplify technology, simplify crypto, a lot of amazing insights and alpha. So I'm actually very, very excited to bring him on board. How about you, Desmond?
I'm so excited, guys. Now, before we get started and review who this person is, I want you guys to do me a big favor here, right? I want you guys to go on Google and just search for the biggest crypto YouTube or biggest YouTube channel in crypto. And then you tell me what answer you get, just the first one, okay? Type in the chat. I want to see what you guys get out of it. Just Google for the biggest, right, YouTube channel in cryptocurrency or crypto. Then you tell me what's the answer that you get. Type in the chat, right? So I'm waiting for you guys to Google. So I see Rawson is saying Coin Bureau. Okay. What else? Right? Danny is saying Coin Bureau. Okay. What else? Are you guys Googling or are you guys not Googling? Are you guys waiting for someone to Google? Ivan on tech. Okay. What else? M Crypto, Coin Bureau. I see a lot of Coin Bureau. I see Coin Bureau, Kiko News. I'm so sad nobody says future trends, guys. What the heck is this? We've been taking care of you guys the whole entire day. We wanted to make sure you guys got value. Nobody say future trends, really, guys? Okay, well, Coin Bureau is Coin Bureau. Now, without further ado, can we invite Nick, the CEO of Coin Bureau, on the stage? Nick, are you ready to jump on?
Wait, 1 sec. Ready, guys? 1 sec. Stop video. I'm trying to stop it. 1 sec. 1 sec. I'm trying to stop the video, guys.
There we go.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing? What an intro, eh? You know how to build suspense, eh? How many people got it right, though?
A lot, majority.
The majority. That's so good to see, man. And it's so, thanks a lot for the kind words, Jonathan. Obviously, it's great to see that our work early on, the early stages, inspired many other people to get in and share our vision and mission. But yeah, it's great to be here with you guys on a Saturday. As you know, they say crypto never sleeps and markets never stop. So we're here looking at alpha, looking at what's happening in the markets, and of course, attending this great seminar you guys hold.
I'm just curious. First of all, Nick, thank you so much for being with us here on a Saturday. I know you're very busy as well. The market is pumping like crazy. We have someone who just bought like a $6 million banana and eating in public, and right now the whole world is talking about crypto suddenly, right?
Well, yeah, it's back in the mindset, right? That mind share all crypto again, man. Wait until it hits 100K, then you'll see how the news is going to go crazy.
Yeah, so true. Guys, I'm just curious, how many of you have watched Coin Bureau before? If you have watched before, touch it, yes. Okay, because they are the largest crypto YouTube channel in the world. And today we have Nick. Now, Nick, we love to share. How did you get into crypto? How do you start Coin Bureau so early when there was no one doing crypto YouTube back then?
Yeah, so it's quite a long story, like most things. So how I got into crypto, so my background is non-traditional, I would say, for creators. So I used to work in investment banking at Goldman Sachs back in London, and that's where I started my career. And obviously, I worked within the traditional financial system, so I got to see how it worked, and I wasn't enamored by it, and I wanted to pursue new, fun, interesting technologies. I realized that the traditional financial system wasn't fit for purpose. And after working there for at least 3 years, I decided I wanted to jump into the startup space, and went into a different startup after leaving investment banking. And while I discovered about Bitcoin before that, in the sense that way back in 2011, actually, I was on an investment banking internship, surprisingly, and I was given a project task was to basically summarize and do a presentation on the Bitcoin white paper. And I remember at that stage of the presentation, I was quite interested by it, but I didn't believe in it at that stage. I never bought some, unfortunately, to my biggest regret. And just so I'd come across Bitcoin prior to that. Now when I was in the startup space, which is about, say, 2016, 2017 time, I was doing some stuff online. I was looking to purchase some things, and I wanted to buy a domain, and I saw, you can pay in Bitcoin. So that's interesting. And I know now that it was being used within actual commerce. So that was a very interesting light bulb moment for me. And I went down the rabbit hole. And whilst I was doing that, obviously, I started trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, and bought a lot of it. And then also, I wanted to invest in other cryptocurrencies, but I was looking online, and there wasn't a lot of resources that could help me to that. I mean, there was white papers, but it wasn't really nicely broken down. And I wanted to try and understand this myself. So I thought, what's the best way to do this? Well, the best way to explain a discipline or a concept that you fully understand it is if you can explain it to other people in a succinct and broken down fashion. So we started the Coin Bureau website we bought the domain, and we started the website about 2017, like late 2017. And then, yeah, we started that. We did that. We started as a website initially that not too many people know. And we did a lot of these deep dive coin reviews, which is similar to what we do on the YouTube, but we did these on the website side, and it grew quite well. But then around 2018 time, we thought we needed to diversify. Everyone wants to get their content in the video format. we thought, okay, well, maybe we should try and consider starting a small YouTube channel. And at that time, Guy was the most handsome among us. So we're like, Guy, you can start the YouTube channel with a classic British accent. And to be honest, I think that that's where it started. It started in a living room in London with the team with a mission and vision of crypto education, and just sharing our passion for it. Not really thinking too much about how many people actually watched it, more about we wanted to share this with whoever wanted to learn about it, and started small. And the rest, as they say, is history. Now we expanded a lot, moved out of the UK, now in Dubai, and 2.5 million so far and climbing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Small YouTube channel, huh? Small YouTube channel.
At that stage, it was small.
But I think it's very interesting that you come from a very TradFi background and then you got into crypto, because now we're starting to see a lot more TradFi guys going into crypto as well. And you're one of the early ones, the pioneer to get into this era, this circle here. Now, before we go on, I think a lot of people, they can find out more about you online. But one of the things that they're here is they want to find out about your view on the market. What's your view on the market right now? Because obviously we're in a bull cycle. We are very, very bullish right now, right? But a lot of people are also very, concerned that a huge retracement might be coming. What's your thought on the market right now?
Yeah, so my thoughts are there's a number of different factors. I think that this comes back to the question around, are we still in the 4-year cycle, or are we into the super cycle with Bitcoin, right? And I'm erring more. I think that what's happening so far in terms of the changes that we're going to start seeing next year as it relates to, especially on the regulatory front in the US, is so like outside of if you heard of the concept of the Overton window, basically this concept where what was once known to be like the standard protocol has shifted so far to the right. You can think about the concept that you want to have a potential Bitcoin strategic reserve, right, in the US, that they've been talking about. That's up to 1 million Bitcoin accumulated over a period of 5 years. So that's 200K bought by the US government every year, right? And then there's also the what was happening with the corporate accumulation, right? On the likes of MicroStrategy, MetaPlanet, all these big companies that are now considering. There's a Microsoft vote happening in about 2 weeks to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. So from a fundamental perspective, the demand for Bitcoin, I think, is just going to continue increasing, right? And because especially if you're going to have this positive regulatory environment in the US, which is going to give the super highway that will allow for this adoption, not even talking about the ETF flows, not even talking about Bitcoin options and all these other things in the market. So I think that it's more, obviously, the cards are stacked towards Bitcoin continuing its run. Obviously, in terms of short-term retracements, it's definitely possible. We've seen just last week when it went to nearly 100K, came down. There's always going to be profit taken from people who are in long-term profit, right? And especially when you're reaching levels like 100K, where it's such a psychological level. You've got a massive amount of sell-wall liquidity there, and then the markets will retrace. But I think that when anyone's asking, and people always ask me this question, it's like, oh, is it too late to get into Bitcoin? Is the market going to trace? There's many different factors you can approach this. If you're a trader and you're looking at short-term market movements, then obviously Bitcoin will retrace. And if you short and if you have massive leverage, you'll get wrecked. But if you're more of a person who's viewing Bitcoin as a long-term investment, as a store of value, as something that's going to continue growing, then it doesn't matter if you buy now or buy 2 weeks' time. I think there's a great saying. It's a Chinese proverb. It's like Chinese proverb is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now, right? So I think that as Bitcoin's going to continue being adopted around the world, it's going to become the new monetary asset. If you look at the trends and we're looking at nation state adoption, it's one of these assets where you if you're not short, if you're not long, you're short, I think.
All right, Nick, I'm gonna just go through your portfolio. I have access to your portfolio. So you're like 63% Bitcoin, 13% Solana, like 13% Sui, 3% Injective, 2% NIA, 2% EVX, only 0.91% Ethereum. So why only 0.91% Ethereum?
That's the good question. So I hold a lot of Ethereum. Like I said, I bought Ethereum back in the day, 2017, right? And I'd been very bullish on Ethereum for quite some time. But about 2 months ago, I sold all my Ethereum. 2-3 months ago, I sold all my Ethereum for Solana and Sui. I think the factors are mainly around, right now the value capture in Ethereum has been taken up by the layer 2s. I think the development is too slow in terms of fixing many of the issues that they're facing. There's no value accrual to the layer 1 itself in terms of ETH as an asset. And in terms of the Solana and Sui, I mean, obviously we've seen the growth of Solana, and not just in terms of price, but also in terms of network growth. DEXs are having more volume. Its daily fee volume is now way more than higher than Ethereum, where a lot of the fees captured, it goes to the base layer, and there's value accrual for the holders. It's a lot. Developers want to build on Solana. It's fast, it's performant, it's great for a consumer chain. It's easy for people to onboard there. The UX is amazing. And this is for someone who's actually used. I still use Ethereum sometimes to move big amounts of stablecoin if I need to, and you just realize the UX on Solana is so much better. And Sui is a similar factor. I mean, I've become very bullish on Sui. I've interviewed the co-founder on the Coin Bureau. We've done extensive reviews on it on the main channel as well. And I think that as a hedge against Solana, because I view it like that, it's like if you want an L1 to an Ethereum as a hedge against Solana. I think Sui is great. Obviously, as a Move-based programming language, it's got Move is obviously a new programming language for smart contracts that is supposed to be a lot more secure and easier to build with than Rust, which is usually what's coded in Solana. But yeah, so I'm more bullish on Sui and Solana as perspective, and I'm also more bullish on Bitcoin than Ethereum. So I mean, although in terms of people asking what I think about Ethereum can recover. But your question shouldn't be like, will Ethereum recover in dollar terms, which it can. If in a bull market, money will flow into it. There is ETF on flow. You can't hear me? I don't know. So can you guys hear me okay?
Can you guys hear Nick? I personally can hear Nick. If it's good, let us know. Okay, so
cool. I just saw a comment. Okay, good. I just wanted to check there. And you don't want this valuable alpha to not be heard. So in terms of Ethereum, in terms of your play should not be Ethereum versus the US dollar, because the US dollar is depreciating asset. No one wants to hold that anyway. It should be against the standard monetary asset, which is Bitcoin and other assets. So I think that the Bitcoin Ethereum pair, so BTC is going to continue falling. I think that's. And the problem is, it's difficult for Ethereum to adapt very quickly because it is such a big juggernaut, multi-billion, and this could be it's. Although it's great that there's so much TBL, there's so many projects. A lot of them, for example, RWAs are issued on Ethereum. You've got the BUIDL fund, you've got all these tokenized treasuries. So there is a lot of demand to utilize ETH because it is the established network especially for corporations. The problem is, it's like having that being in that state means it's difficult for them to adapt very quickly, difficult for them to push forward developments. And we've seen this now out of DevCon. They've made like a 5-year roadmap for the Steam chain, right, to bring value accrual back to Ethereum. But the problem is 5 years, right? Like, how long is that in crypto's time, right? Think of what Sui, Solana, Aptos, all these new layer ones that are launched in the next 3 months. It's just too much. The competition is just too strong in the L1 space. And eventually, people ask me, okay, Scott, people are still using it, they're still deploying on ETH, it's still developers building on top of it. But you understand that's because of network effects. Network effects is not forever, right? There was a time when BlackBerry, right, was, if you guys remember back in the day, BlackBerry was one of the top phones that people would use, right? And they had a monopoly on the market share. People thought they would they would never get taken down by any other sort of entities. Now what's happened to BlackBerry? Research in motion, right? So yeah, that's kind of like the way I view it. And like, as much as it pains me to say it, because I do believe, like I say, the vision of ETH with the decentralized world computer from back in the day, got some really smart people working on it, and it's like, but I'm, at the end of the day, you've got to place your capital where you think you're going to get the most returns and where the market is moving.
All right. So Nick, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. I'm going to ask you a very, very important question. Now, you bought Bitcoin early, and right now you're holding like 63% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. Solana today is like $244. Sui today is like $3.40. A lot of these tokens have already pumped. So if today you have like $10,000, you're starting from afresh, okay? Only $10,000. What will you invest in?
Oh man, this is a tough one. I mean, it's like, you know what, we famous are not financial advice. This is very important. They're not financial advice, guys, because I think it's important to stress that, because also my ideal portfolio, I think it's, when I approach these kind of questions, it's important to understand that everyone's got a different risk profile and different end game, right, in terms of what they want to get from this crypto cycle. So, and also, and that's important, because it's like, if you're more willing to go and take a more risk and you're willing to have the capital to spend, you can be more allocated to altcoins. If you more like if you have a long-term view, you're saving for something, your time frame is 5 to 10 years, and it's more Bitcoin side. However, like I will say, okay, I can definitely give it like an idea. It's like I would definitely still have more heavy in Bitcoin, right? I think that I'd have at least 40% within Bitcoin, right? I know that many altcoin adherents don't think that that's a bit high, but I think that that's the standard asset class, especially from the perspective of what could happen next year, right? Especially if we start seeing this mass adoption coming through. It could still outperform. The Bitcoin dominance could continue rising. You don't know, especially if, so that's the thing. If Bitcoin dominance continues rising, you're better off with Bitcoin. So I still hold a big distortion in that because I'm so bullish on Bitcoin. I think the next 60% within altcoins, and I'll split it each within the altcoins, like across a range of different risk profiles, right? So I mean, I think you'd want to one alt, like at least 2 alt L1s. It also depends on what narratives you're bullish on. So being like, for instance, AI, RWAs, that kind of stuff. I'm obviously hold SUI, so I'm bullish on SUI. So I'd say 20% in SUI. It's an alt L1, and bullish on the move programming language as well. And that narrative, that whole move narrative. I'd have, say, 10% in Solana as well. Bullish, I think that Solana is the best UX. I think it's got the traction behind it. I think that it's also a good hedge against SUI. And it's biggest and the most popular consumer chain out there in terms of mind share. So we now have I'd have another 10% in NIA. Now, I do hold NIA in my portfolio. It hasn't pumped as much as these other guys, which means that potentially it is looking for a revenge rally. NIA is also one of those 2019 coin. It's been around for some time. Why I think it's interesting is because it's the intersection of two strong narratives. One is AI. NIA, the developers behind NIA were actually one of the initial writers of this paper that's focused on AI called Transformers, and they were Google engineers. So NIA's got the one thing on it in hand, like the AI narrative, and then of course NIA's also focused on account abstraction. It's focused on the subtraction idea where you could basically become the front end for all of crypto protocols, right? So yeah, I'd say 10% within NIA, and like I say, it hasn't rallied as much as the others, so it could be potentially looking for another rally coming in there. So now we're up to it's 80. Now we've got 20% left. Now I guess the question is like, people, I don't hold any meme coins. Now I think that, and I've spoken to quite a few people on this. There's this concept of the meme coin super cycle theory and all this kind of stuff, and I don't fully agree with that. What I will say though is I think that if you're talking top tier meme coins, right, not your low cap stuff like the institution, the proper strong meme coins, I would say like something like a Pepe, and a Pepe and maybe a Bonk at 5% each, right? So basically you've got two different, you got just the Ethereum based meme coin. Pepe is an institution, right? So it's like these are like, high risk plays, obviously. People should know that with meme coins, but the chances of Pepe or Bonk basically disappearing, like a lot of these other memes that come with a much lower, is very unlikely because they've already reached that critical level. Bonk, it's interesting because they've got a team behind it, and I've met the team, and they've got interesting plans, and they're obviously very strong in the Solana ecosystem. Pepe is just looks at a Coinbase. It's quite one can say an institutional meme. And I've spoken to yesterday. I just spoke with one of these OTC dealers who's big in the meme coin space, and there's big liquidity within the meme space. Big funds are trading memes, and especially the top memes like the Bonks and the Pepes and a few others. So now we got 10% left, right?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think that what else? I mean, I think you want a DeFi play in there, and one I'm really interested in watching, I think potentially for if DeFi regulations, positive DeFi regulations come out of the US with the crypto, the SEC and things like that. One I'm really interested in is Ethereum's ENA. I don't hold in my portfolio, but the reason I think it's interesting is because they've just today, they turned on apparently there's this fee proposal where some of the protocol fees that the protocol is earning are going to ENA stakers. So that's obviously value accrual, positive value for the ENA token holders as well, or when you stake it within the ENA protocol. And if you guys don't know, don't know what Athena is, the issuers of the USDE stablecoin, this tokenized, synthetic dollar tokenized cash and carry trade. It's a really fascinating project in terms of the way they work. And they launched about 4 or 5 months ago, their stablecoin, and it's been through it's not really a stablecoin, technically it's a synthetic dollar, but we don't need to get into nuances. And it launched about 6 months ago, and it's been through some pretty tough market environments, and it's held its peg. Big backers are behind this. People are very excited about it because of the fact that it has potential to become one of those like really strong big stablecoins. It's kind of like a decentralized stablecoin, although it still uses centralized exchanges and custodians and things like that. But I think the reason that it's been had a lot of fun is because of people worried about something akin to a Luna's UST. But if you know the mechanics of Athena, it's quite a different coin. And ENA is of course the governance token that's related to Athena. So I think that's the ideal portfolio. But again, like I said, these can be adjusted based on people's risk preferences. If you're more degen and you want to go and reduce your Bitcoin allocation, that's fine. I think, like I tell everyone, it's important to have your own strategy and not rely on other people's suggestions per se. Obviously, you can listen to their suggestions, watch videos like the CoinBureau, and come to seminars like this and get people's perspectives. But then take that, go back home, do your research into the project or protocol, and then also know exactly what your target is, your exit strategy is, and your risk tolerance, and then develop a strategy around that.
Yep. So guys, I want you guys to know that from time to time, we actually do rotate our capital when we feel like, hey, at this point of time, probably the price is too high already. We do sell and then we go and buy something else. So I highly encourage you guys to go and check out CoinBureau's YouTube channel. You will see one with around 2.55 million subscribers. That's the one. All right. Team, if you guys can post the link of CoinBureau's YouTube channel on the chat so that everyone can go and subscribe and follow. In fact, I want you guys to know this is one of the YouTube channel that I watch every single morning. Every single morning when I wake up, I'm always watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, and CoinBureau is one of those channels that I watch every single day. Okay, yeah. So so that's my pass to you to ask the next question.
Yeah. So Nick, one of the things that, in fact, this is something that I think is quite interesting. Like back into the crypto markets, right? I noticed that you are not investing in a lot of coins. Your portfolio is quite targeted, like quite heavy into certain coins. Is that by purpose, or like you just prefer to not have too much distraction and just focus on like 8 coins, 9 coins, 7 coins?
I think that my view is too much diversification can be a hindrance to your growth in a portfolio. Like if I'd been for the past few months trading around in and out of Bitcoin, right? Some other people I know, I would have underperformed. Whereas Bitcoin dominance has continued growing and Bitcoin's been a stellar performer. I think that it's also a matter of mindset, right? And not mindset like mind share. I think that people should not be trying to be a generalist and trying to chase after 16 different trends at the same time. If you're good at trading, Bitcoin, then trade Bitcoin, right? You don't need to be jumping around into different else, right? Because it's kind of like you guys heard the saying, he who chases 2 rabbits catches none, right? I think it's like you should find a niche which you're strong at, find a narrative which you're strong at, and then hyper-focus on that, right? And if you can, and if crypto is your 24/7 and your full-time job, and you have the time to like study like 20 different coins and allocate your portfolio like that and actually adjust all the time and rotate your capital, that's great. And if that works for you, that's fine. But I think that the more you try and split your attention too much, you're gonna start like you won't be able to pay too much attention to that. And obviously, also on our side, me personally, like I'm super busy on the stuff I'm doing building the Coin Bureau, so I don't always have the time to go back and like, okay, me and Desmond for over here, obviously we do a lot of private sale investments as well. I'm on the venture side as well, but that's more longer term focused, right? So the idea of me going in there every single day, trading, adjusting my portfolio, studying the charts, I just don't have the time to do that. Doesn't mean I don't know how to do it, but it's just like I just don't have the time to do it, because I think that, yeah, you need to focus on it. So it's mainly a factor of my time availability, but also the factor that I know what I have strong conviction in those projects, and willing to hold them up long term. Whereas from just in a short term trading a meme coin, I could make money on it, and yeah, that's fine. But I need to be focused on it. You jump in and out, and especially if you're the trading side, if you guys are traders, people think it's something that you need to spend a lot of time and effort in, and you need to learn from guys like this to basically how do you like. You have the time to give to trading, right? To actually study the charts and not just in and out and do it like cavalierly.
Nick, I noticed one thing. I noticed that for most of the coins that you hold, you have interviewed most of all these founders on your YouTube channel. So like when it comes to Sui, you managed to interview the founder of Sui. When it comes to Atos, you managed to interview the founder of Atos. We're even talking about Arkham Intelligence, and all these are like your tier 1 cryptocurrencies. Do you think having a channel like Coin Bureau allows you to have an unfair advantage in the market?
In terms of what, being able to get access to founders to speak to them, or in terms of opportunities to invest?
To speak to them.
It's not like we're getting it's not like I'm getting the information like that. In that time when I spoke to Mo, that was the only time I spoke to Mo. Right? It was when I did that interview. The way I'm doing with these interviews, my view is I like to learn about crypto. I like to learn from the founders themselves. Let me take that conversation to everyone else. Right? Same thing that happened with it was Sui. That's the first time I spoke to. I don't know. He joined in one of our servers earlier this year, and I was Jess on the team. But that was also the first time I was talking to him, and that conversation is an open conversation for everyone. I didn't invest in Sui in any preferential terms. I just bought it on the market spot. Many people may have gotten preferential terms in that particular project, but I think it's a matter of I don't think it's necessarily an unfair advantage. I mean, obviously, if you've got a YouTube channel and you've got a reach, founders are more likely to want to speak to you. But it's not like I'm keeping any sort of information away from anyone. It's not like that's the goal for what we're trying to do as Coin Bureau. Is we're not trying to use and view our position as an opportunity to get up on someone else. We are trying to trigger it as an opportunity to educate our fans and give them the same access we do and the same information we get in. And that's how we view it.
Nick, that's amazing right there. But unfortunately, we are running out of time. One of the things that I'd like to ask you is there any final thought or any final things that you'd like to share with our community here? On Zoom, we have close to 1,000 people on Zoom. We have on YouTube side, we have 200 to 300 people watching live right now. Okay, any final message for these guys?
Final message, I think that one thing I've noticed in the creator space and YouTube space is it's sometimes difficult to find people and other creators who share your same vision and mission around crypto education and help their fans in the same way we do. So when we find partners and we work with them, we meet people in the creator space who share that, we know that there's something special and we should try and do more of that, more partnerships. And we haven't done many of these in the past, but we decided that this year it's important to meet more of these creators and do things with them, because if we all work together to help educate people about cryptocurrency, then we can help change and bring forward mass adoption. So that's why I would like to, on this Zoom call, announce that after meeting Des and Jonathan here in Dubai, and also me in different conferences and speaking to them for hours on end, the Coin Bureau is going to be partnering with Future Trends for future collaborations and sharing education, as well as many other opportunities to our fans, and bringing the word of bringing the educational format of Coin Bureau to the Mandarin audience, and indeed the entire part of Asia. We've done this with a few other channels. We'd love to be doing this with Future Trends.
Yes, you guys hear it here first. Future Trends YouTube channel will be rebranding to Coin Bureau Mandarin. That's going to be amazing, right? As you all know, Coin Bureau is the biggest media arm in the whole crypto space. And frankly speaking, this is the company and this is the organization that's getting all the alphas and all the strategies. And guess what? We want to be able to bring you the alpha and the strategies before the rest of the market catch up. So this is a huge, huge thing. The official announcement is going to become this opportunity, and I and your time as well. John, anything that you'd like to add on?
I'm so excited because when we were having crypto YouTube channels that came and speak to us, but Coin Bureau is the only logical choice for us, and we are so excited to be working with you guys, Nick, to get more insights, to learn from you guys as well, so that we can pass on your message, can pass on more alphas to our Future Trends members. So thank you so much, Nick. Yeah.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm really excited for the future, and it's great to see the fans as well. I love it, and this is what I want to do. And I think that always all for the mass adoption of cryptocurrency globally. We're on a mission. We're going to make it happen, guys.
Let's do it together. All right. Cool.
Thank you, Nick.
Guys.
Appreciate your time here.
Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye, Nick.
Bye, Nick.
Bye.
Now, guys, stay on. We do have free money to be giving away. Thanks to BitUnix, we still have free money. How many of you like free money here? Right? If you like free money here, type in free in the chat, right? I hope that you guys have also gotten a lot of value from Nick. Remember, today we bring in some of the best. How many of you agree that we're bringing like crypto's best? We're not talking about tier 2, tier 3. We're not talking about, triple B, triple C. No, we're bringing the triple A to you guys. We're bringing Nick from Coin Bureau. We're bringing Annie from Trade Travel, one of the best traders I've ever met, right? That I've ever seen, right? John, how do you feel about this event so far? We've spent a lot of money, we spent a lot of time, we spent a lot of effort. Not just us, in fact, our crew and our entire Future Trends team, they slept like 3 hours a night, maybe less, preparing for this event. And we have zero upsell. We have nothing to upsell you guys, right? Some people are asking, whatever you're selling today, can I just buy it? Sorry, I don't have a payment link for you guys. How many of you are feeling that this is insane? Like, wow, so far, typing wow in the chat, right? Okay, so one of the things that I feel you guys can remember is we are at the start of the bull market, okay? But you have to understand one thing. At the end of the day, you have to do what it takes to get the result that you need. And I hope that the final sprint event has been an amazing one for you. Now, before we go to the free money, guys, John, any last words before we tell them to do what they need to do next?
So some of you guys are probably asking, how's the partnership like? I want you guys to know that soon on our Future Trends YouTube, you will see that the name Future Trends will be rebranded to Coin Bureau Chinese. Okay, so our YouTube channel will be a part of Coin Bureau Group. Yeah, so that's something very exciting for us. And I want you guys to know why we are doing this is because we know in the crypto market, it's a lot about access, it's a lot about insights. So being a part, having our YouTube channel, being acquired, partnered with Coin Bureau, it gives us a lot of access. It gives us a lot of insights, research, analysis, even interview with founders. So today you get to experience how we interview the top crypto YouTubers in the market. I believe in time to come, you will be seeing us interviewing the top crypto founders in the market because of our partnership with Coin Bureau. I hope you guys at Future Trends, the members here, you guys are excited. The YouTube channel will be a part of Coin Bureau, but our academy, our community will still be Future Trends. Okay, so I hope you guys are excited for being a part of Future Trends. I'm very, very excited because in time to come, if you want to invest into Sui, we can potentially just call the founder of Sui. Right now, I'm looking at Aptos. Everyone is talking about Aptos. We can potentially call the founders of Aptos and have a Zoom call like this. Future Trends alone, we can't do it. I want you guys to know, honestly speaking, Future Trends alone, we can't do it. But now that being a part of Coin Bureau, we are given the access already. Because all these project founders want to speak to the largest crypto media company in the world. So that's the reason why we agreed to this acquisition.
And don't forget that when me and Jonathan started Future Trends, one of the things is that we are all making money from the market together as a community. I'm not making money from you. You're not making money from me. We are making money from the market. How many of you understand that? Typing you in the chat. So for those of you who are not in Future Trends Discord yet, right, which will not be affected by this, it will be, you guys will just get a lot more alphas, a lot more insider information, a lot more tips and strategies, right? A lot more partnerships with strong traders and investors like Annie, Peter from House of Crypto, so on and so forth, right? So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, right? If you're not part of Future Trends yet, do me a big favor. We are running our final 3 days challenge in December. Actually, to be honest, I was telling Jonathan, I'm tired. I don't want to do 3 days challenge anymore because I want to trade. I want to invest. I want to make my own money, right? John was like, you cannot be so selfish. We have to do one last time. So in December, we are running a one last time, a Chinese and an English one. Even though Jonathan is extremely busy preparing for his wedding, he's taking time off. He's getting scolded by his fiance, family, and all this kind of stuff just to make sure y'all don't miss this bull market, guys. I don't know if you understand the sacrifices we make to make this event happen, to make all this information flow towards you, right? So please attend our next 3 days challenge if you are not a Future Trends member yet, because you don't want to be the exit liquidity. You don't want to be the retail that Annie was talking about that actually got liquidated by the market makers. You understand what I'm saying? You want to be the smart money, not the dumb money. Now, talking about that, okay, if you consider yourself, you want to be a smart money, type in smart in the chat, right? Because smart money will help us do one thing, right? Which is, if you guys can do us a big favor, go to our Facebook page. As you all know, this is our customer support Facebook page, facebook.com/Future Trends Academy. I would really appreciate it if you guys can go to this banner here. Go to the comments section, right? I would like you guys to write down, the longer the better, right? If you guys can write down the feedback, what you have learned, right? How do you think about the event? Was it worthwhile spending a valuable Saturday to be here to learn from Nick, from William, from Peter, from Annie, right? All different types of people, right? Different backgrounds, right? In one session like this, one day like this, was it worth it? What did you learn? Okay. And would you like us to host another one? The reason why is because if we get amazing feedback today, if you guys are loving it, you guys are enjoying it, you guys wish, Desmond, can we have another one next year? Can we have another one maybe before the market turns, or before the market do this, before the market do that? Listen, for us to put this event together, we spend our own money with no expectation of an ROI, right? We spend our own time and energy. My team is lacking sleep, right? I am lacking sleep. Jonathan is not sleeping at all, right? To make this happen. But we also want your feedback, to use as a way for us to attract better speakers, okay? Even better speakers or even more powerful speakers to come to our event to share more insider tips, strategies, alphas with you guys. How many of you will love that? Type in love it in the chat, right? So I need you guys to do one thing, guys. I need you guys to do one thing. Go to the Facebook, right? I want to see, because thousands of you guys here, if you guys can go in here, I need to see at least 300 comments. If I see 300 comments, then I'll consider doing another one of this for free for you guys. All you need to do is go to this image here. You'll see, I want you guys to drop following this format so it's easy for everybody. Number one, has this event been worthwhile to you? Like spending a Saturday, I know it's time away from a family, for some of you, time away from work, right? Has it been worthwhile to you? Number two is, what have you learned? Right? What have you learned? Like for me, guys, I don't know about you guys. I was sitting here, I was learning as well. I started to see that. I started to look at my portfolio. I bought 2 little Aptos. I need more Aptos now. I don't know how Jonathan feels about this. I feel like we need to load up more Aptos now, right? And then when Nick was saying, because I know Nick is not a meme coin guy, and then he was talking about bonk. I went and looked at the bonk chart. I'm like, how did I miss this? So beautiful, the chart, right? The thing is, to be able to see opportunity like this, you must have skill set, you must have the knowledge, which is why we run our 3 days challenge, which is why we start this Future Trends Discord and community. I hope you guys understand this. So do me a big favor, go over to this image here, give it a like, and then go and comment. What has this been worthwhile to you? What are the lessons that you have learned, right? If you love any specific speakers, okay, just mention their names, and that's okay, because I will send this to them and let them know that this is love letters from you guys, right? And they'll come back. Maybe you can get Annie to come back. We can get Nick to come back. We can get Peter to come back. We can get William to come back, right? They feel the love from you guys, right? Otherwise, they might not want to come back. They say, there's no point. I just speak and nobody seems to appreciate what I say, right? Can you guys do that for me? Typing yes in the chat, right? So please do that to us, for us, let's say if you can right now, because then I can, right after this event, I'll screenshot some of these and I'll send it to Nick, Annie, Peter, and William and say, thank you guys for showing up here, sharing all these alphas. Can we count on you guys the next time we do this again? Right? Then they'll share more to you guys next time. Is that cool? If that's cool, typing cool in the chat. I just want to see if we can work together as a community to get more good stuff for everybody, right? So Jonathan, anything specifically that you would like to see in the comments, or anything specifically that you want them to help us out with?
Guys, please do me a favor. Don't just put thank you, amazing, awesome. Please more sincere lah. Guys, more sincere than that lah. So share more on what's your biggest takeaways from this entire session. I want you guys to know these are really the world best. If you guys can help us to put in better comments over there, what we want to do is we'll use these comments. We will prepare some things very, very soon for you guys. It will be a collaboration, an event like this, collaboration between Future Trends and Coin Bureau, and having Coin Bureau being a partner in our upcoming event, we can bring in bigger players in the market. So I want you guys to know we at Future Trends, we are leveling up so that we can bring everyone up together. But we really need everyone's support to do it together. Okay. So team, can you drop a link of the Facebook again for everyone to access this? Yeah. So guys, when we created this event, I want you guys to know, a lot of my friends ask me, John, a lot of my friends in crypto ask me this. They say, how much are you guys selling? How much are you guys selling this event? Because this event can sell very high ticket. In fact, how many actually agree, right? This event, if we were to sell high ticket, actually it deserves to be a high ticket program, because you've probably been to other 10K, 20K kind of event, right? If you agree with that, chat, agree. Okay? If you guys agree with that, chat, agree. And I actually told my industry peers, which means my friends who are running similar business model, I said this event is free. And then they asked me this question. They said, oh wow, then you confirm you're using this to pull in a lot of crowd, right? So they can upsell them, right? Then they asked me, what is your upsell? And I said, I actually got no upsell. And a lot of my friends are saying you're stupid. You can point 1,000 over people and you have no upsell, you're stupid. Now, guys, I want you guys to know, I only got one thing to sell you. I only got one thing to sell you, something that I've been selling you for the past 1 year. And the one thing I will tell you is this. I want you to know that the crypto bull run is here. We have been able to capture this crypto bull run very well so far this entire year. March, we told you guys the danger zone is coming. Then after that, for the following 6 months, we told you guys that September, the bull run is coming. And then I've been telling you guys, I think the off season is here. Have we been quite accurate so far at Future Trends? If it's true, type out the chat true. Okay. So the only thing I want to sell you is this. I think we caught this bull run very right. I hope you guys will commit into crypto market for at least I think maybe 6 to 12 months more. Okay. 6 to 12 months more. Just really commit yourself the next 6 months to 12 months more in crypto market. We at Future Trends will do our best to continue to level up, to bring you guys the best insight strategies, tactics, alphas, tools, analysis, research, even networks now. Okay. And my goal is this. Desmond, my goal is very simple. We will create 100 crypto millionaires in Future Trends. I really hope that you'll be one of them. Okay. So that's my last message that's the last message for me, but don't end yet because we still got lucky draw. Okay. Desmond.
No, before we get there, because I'm getting a lot of people asking questions, Desmond, Jonathan, I start to see what you guys are doing here. You guys are not really a seminar company. You guys are not gurus. You guys are enlightening other people. I would also like to enlighten my friends who are not Future Trends, or maybe you are not a Future Trends members yet, so you don't have that support. So guys, one thing I would recommend all of you to do right now is please, okay? I need you guys to understand this. Team, can we drop the link for the next 3 days challenge? Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, because me and Jonathan, this is not our first cycle. I see so many people stupidly buy at the top, and then when everyone is buying, they go buy. And then when everyone is selling, they thought, oh, it's retracement. So there's no knowledge. And then they got scammed by the market. They got scammed by the media. And they think that the media tell them to buy means they go buy, because they don't have the independent thinking, which is why at Future Trends, we want to build this community and this platform so that you guys can take care of not only yourself, but also your friends and your family members. You understand what I'm saying? So guys, to be honest with you, whether you like it or not, knowledge and skill is very important. And one of the best way we can impart knowledge and skill to your friends as well as to you is to do the 3 days challenge. And for one last time, we will be doing the 3 days challenge. Please, even if your friends don't believe in crypto, just ask them to attend. Just tell them that I would just you just come and you won't regret it, right? Get them to attend the next 3 day challenge. In fact, if you yourself are not familiar with how to trade, how to invest, come to the next 3 days challenge. This is our last gig, right? We're saying goodbye to the 3 days challenge very, very soon. Most of you are here because of the 3 days challenge. You all know the impact we've been able to make. So please grab the link that's in the chat, okay? Grab that link that's in the chat, send it to your friends. But also one thing, if you are not Future Trends members yet, come again. Come again, I promise you. You will start to see so many different things. In fact, the last 3 days challenge that we did, people were telling me that they attend 3 times and they make money from all the live tradings that we did in the 3 days challenge, and then they join Future Trends, right? Which is insane, guys. So you will not see 3 days challenge in 2025 again. I'm sorry, I don't have the time. I don't have the, I have a lot of things to do. I want to manage my own trades and portfolio, right? And I also want to help my community do that. Those of you who follow Future Trends before, maybe team, can we open up the chat just for a while? How many of you here, you are in Future Trends? You understand that the last few weeks, we've been making money like crazy. If you agree, type in A in the chat. Type in everyone. Because when I say that, our costs are correct, people don't believe me. Oh, you're just trying to sell a course. You're just a guru trying to pretend. Guys, all the calls we made, even the stupid ones, like the ones that are super small market cap, like Champ, right? Like Pin, right? Like Mode. Jonathan called stock was up, right? Spec, guys, spec. $9 to $11 we buy. What $18 just now I checked, guys. And then guys, peak 20 cents, 35 cents now, guys. People say, Desmond, how come if Future Trend is so good, how come you don't share all the screenshots? Guys, how to share? If I share your screen, all is my screenshots. Guys, I don't know how to share all the victories. We have too many. And I'm not bragging here. I'm saying this because my Future Trends member will back me up. If you guys really, really agree, Future Trends member, please send this to everyone so everyone else can see. Okay? This is very, very important. Now, I know. It's money time. It's money time, right? Brian said, yeah, I bought at 20 cents, right? Facts, puffer. So guys, if you believe us, great. If you don't believe us, I also cannot do anything, right? That's why I tell you, come to our 3 days challenge. Let us prove to you with result first. If you like what you see, consider joining us. If you don't like, never mind. Because some people, maybe you prefer different types of, you want to follow different types of person. I don't know, right? You do whatever you want to do, right? Some people are asking when to sell peak, guys. If you're in Future Trends, I'll take care of you guys. Don't worry, right?
Chill. Yeah, you only made 90% in 7 days, guys. Not a lot, what? Chill first.
We're not at the peak yet, guys.
Yeah, we only made 90% in 7 days. It's okay, right? Chill first.
And as I always say, guys, when you all get rich, please don't forget me and Jonathan, because a lot of people do. So we have some members that make already 6 figures and 7 figures. They are already thinking about what car to upgrade next, right? So guys, one more thing, like we do have to give away some money, all right? Because this is a BitUnix. They are very generous to say that we've been loving the Future Trends crowd. Future Trends crowd has been very, very supportive. And not only that, we are always giving feedback to BitUnix. Whatever coins you all want BitUnix to list, you can let us know. We can let BitUnix know, right? Whatever system or any features that you like BitUnix to have, let us know as well. We will actually support BitUnix by giving your feedback to them. Together, we make this platform a lot stronger. Now, this event would not have happened if not for BitUnix. So with that said, I need to give you some money. How many of you want some free money, right? You want some free money? Let me know in the chat, right? So what I need to do is, team, can we share the lucky draw again? We have $400 to give away. Okay, remember guys, go ahead and also drop the takeaways, drop the comments on the social media posts on Facebook, because if you don't do that, it will make our lives very difficult to host the next event. I cannot bring you so much good stuff, and maybe I won't feel so motivated to bring you the best. Think about it. At the end of the day, we are not selling anything. as Jonathan said, our friends think we're crazy for not selling you anything. Because if I sell you something right now with Jonathan, both of us can buy a new Lamborghini. But we rather you buy the Lamborghini instead of us buying the Lamborghini. That's the fact. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth, right? With that said, let's give away the $100, the first $100. Can we spin the wheel? Wow. 389-443-147. Congratulations. You just got the $100. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's give away the second one. How many of you feel lucky? Right? Alicia is like, pick me. This is not manipulated. This is totally random. Just to let you know. Okay, 3852766164. Why all start from 3? I don't know, Brandon. This is totally random, so I also don't know. Right? In fact, I should have registered. I didn't even register for my own event. Okay, Brian said, draw me. My hands are here just to let you know, in case you think that I'm actually manipulating. Okay. What was the number now? 3 again? Really? 342718111. Now we have a last one. One last one. Come on, one last one. Right? Guys, my hands are here. I'm not pressing anything. Right? Come. Let's go. 5 now. Finally, someone was asking for 5. Andy was asking why no start from 5. We got 595575114. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations for actually participating in a final sprint. Jonathan, it's been a tiring one. We worked like 3-4 weeks to make this event happen. And we are planning to do a huge one next year. Please write down January 11th. Everyone, please write down January 11th. Right? We are still working on a concept. We're still working on bringing the speakers. And remember, I cannot bring the top speakers. Now, my dream is ideally if I can bring the big bosses of all the crypto that you're investing in, Sui, Aptos, and all this, to bring them to have a bit of a conversation with us. Then you can ask them questions, right? But to do that, we need the feedback on our Facebook. Can you guys help me out with that? If you guys can help me out with that, type in MP for no problem. Right? And I need it today so that I can start working on the next event for you guys, right? The next event will be on January 11th. That's at least what we've marked down on our calendar. Can you guys mark down on your calendar as well? Okay? Mark down on your calendar as well, January 11th. Okay? And if you guys, if you guys have any events on there that can be moved, you should move the event because January 11th is going to be very crucial because that's right before the Chinese New Year. As you all know, crypto does move right before the Chinese New Year because a huge holding of Bitcoin is owned by the Chinese, right? And Chinese people will celebrate Chinese New Year. And if you don't believe me, you'll just go Google and search for Chinese New Year Bitcoin price. Price will move. So at that time, we will give you the alpha for January for pre-Chinese New Year. How many of you will love that? Type in CNY, right? Even I, myself, me and Jonathan, we're going to be sacrificing some family time, sacrificing some very personal time, right? Away from what we need to do in order to serve you guys. Right? So make sure y'all come and it's free for you guys. I'm sure we'll try to arrange as good stuff as possible, even better than this event. Jonathan, any last things that we need to really cover?
So guys, I want you guys to know, if you felt that this entire event is good, we want to up the level. In January, there are few people who we have already connected with. They are the best in the world in what they do. Okay, we are talking about world best. We are not talking about the Malaysia, Singapore best. We are talking about world best. We want to bring them to you guys at Future Trends. Okay, so we are working very, very hard for this because their time is very, very expensive as well. So we are working out the budgets and all. But you know what? The event is free for you guys. The cost is on us, but the value is all for you. Okay, so we want to bring the best for you guys. We want you guys to capture this bull run. We want you guys to change your life, change your family's life. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you guys so much. Desmond, any last message?
Yeah, so we have the lucky draw winners. As you all can see, these are the BitUnix account ID. I suggest you guys take a quick picture of this right now. Okay, and then go and cross-check with your BitUnix account. I would like to thank number one, BitUnix for being a big sponsor of our event, for helping us arrange the speakers as well. I'd like to thank the speakers, William, Peter, Annie, Nick, for being here. Okay, but more importantly, guys, me and Jonathan, we would really like to thank our team who put in a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of time, sleepless nights, right? A lot of like meetings upon meetings and stress to make this event happen, right? And I really want to thank the crew for helping out and really taking one for the team. And I also want to thank you guys for being here all the way until the very end. Thanks for trusting us. The bull market is here. The bull market has only got started. And remember this, together we are stronger and we work together to reach our destination. Okay, that's all that I have.
All right. See you guys soon. Trade smart. Stay sharp. Bye-bye.
Bye.